Chapter 4290. Everyone was in despair. This was simply an unwinnable battle. Saint Venerable Han Jun was disappointed. If it weren't for these people, his people might have been able to hold on for a while. However, these people that he had recruited had no courage at all. As they were defeated and fled, his few elite troops were taken away by the crowd and lost their combat ability. Everyone could see that the situation was hopeless. Han Jun was also preparing to open his sovereign domain and let the others leave. He couldn't let them all die here. He sighed. The Spirit Clan has no chance of turning the tables. At this moment, a voice sounded. Then, a spiritual boat came over like a bolt of lightning. Previously, Han Jun was too focused on the battlefield and didn't notice this. When he noticed it, the spiritual boat had already arrived on the battlefield. This was not only a spiritual boat, but also a top-grade spiritual boat. Even he couldn't refine it. Those who were running away also noticed this scene. For a moment, they seemed to have forgotten to run away and looked up one after another. Those demons who had been killing for a long time also saw this situation for the first time. They stopped chasing and looked up. Everyone, retreat into the sovereign domain, that voice sounded again. Then, the door of the spiritual boat opened. Rays of light fell from above and gathered below. The leader was wearing a black battle robe. He stood in the void, his battle robe fluttering in the wind. That person had a handsome face and a cold expression. Even if he didn't release his aura, he was still the center of attention. Of course, the main reason was that he was too famous. Almost everyone in the spiritual realm knew him. Zichen. Zichen of the Holy Thunder Clan. They didn't expect him to come at this time. Behind Zichen stood several beings. They were surrounded by lightning, indicating that they were from the Holy Thunder Clan. It's Zichen. It's the Holy Thunder Clan. They are here. The Holy Thunder Clan is here to save us. We're saved. We're saved. The Holy Thunder Clan is here to save us. Cheers sounded from behind. These turtles are finally willing to come out. The 9-star Holy Spirit scolded with a smile. His eyes became moist. Apparently, he was touched. Han Jun, who was standing at the back, had a better view of the situation than the others. A bitter smile appeared on his face. It seems that this is Zichen's personal behavior. This was because not all of the people who came were from the Holy Thunder Clan. In fact, more than half of them were not from the Holy Thunder Clan. Zichen had appeared with someone other than the Holy Thunder Clan. Others might not know what this meant, but as the Holy Sage, he knew very well. If it was the Holy Thunder Clan's order, Zichen wouldn't need outsiders even if he brought an army of 1 million, let alone 10,000 people. Who are you? Mars looked at Zichen. Even though he recognized him, he still asked the question out of nervousness. Zichen waved his hand and said indifferently, "Spread out and surround them. Leave no one alive." His words were concise and clear. In the next moment, his figure disappeared into thin air. Mars shouted angrily, and the magic power around him surged. He couldn't see Zichen's movements clearly, but he subconsciously felt that Zichen would definitely attack him. As the saying went, to catch bandits, first catch the ringleader. His reaction was very fast, but in front of Zichen, he was too slow. Even if he was a 9-star Holy Spirit, he wouldn't be able to block Zichen's attack, let alone a mere 8-star Holy Spirit. There was a loud bang. Powerful ripples spread out in all directions. Zichen stood where Mars was originally standing, while Mars was sent flying backward. The defense he had put up earlier was instantly shattered, and an incomparably powerful force entered his body, obliterating his vitality. As his body flew backward, his eyes were fixed on Zichen. His eyes were full of shock and disbelief. His consciousness dissipated. With such a collision, a deputy commander died. Zichen stood in the crowd of devils, and at first glance, it looked like he was surrounded by a group of devils. But in the next moment, these devils suddenly scattered, not daring to get close to Zichen at all. Kill. A cold voice sounded, and hundreds of holy talismans appeared in the void above. The holy talisman's light bloomed, and a powerful aura surged out. The holy talisman masters brought by Ren Zheng were the first to attack. In the Holy Thunder Clan, Their status was comparable to that of the core disciples, and each of them was a treasure. Now that they attacked together, their momentum was mighty. Die. Luo Chishui stepped forward, and the long sword on his back flew out and fell into his hand. He, who was already a 9-star Holy Spirit, slashed out with his sword. A sword light flashed forward and swept through the bodies of several devils in front of him, including an 8-star Holy Spirit. Their bodies were all split in the middle. After that sword strike, Luo Chishui rushed forward and rushed into the devils. Grace waved her hand gently. She didn't attack, but retreated to the back. At the same time, some of the people she brought with her rose into the air and some retreated. They were all there to record the battle merits and didn't participate in the battle. Pei Wenyaro led his people forward, and the team was like an open pocket that was about to swallow these devils. As for the rogue cultivators who were recruited, they roared and charged forward. They seemed to be disorganized, but fortunately, they were carrying out Zi Chen's order to surround the devils. The spirit race at the back were all dumbfounded. In the blink of an eye, their powerful leader was killed. The situation had changed too quickly. Kill. The private army trained by Han Jun reacted quickly. Their combat strength wasn't weak, and they charged forward. As for the others, they just stood there and watched. They were really scared by the previous massacre. Because the devils lost their leader, their morale wavered, and some even had the idea of retreating. Kill these spirit race people. Their combat strength is simply, an 8-star devil wanted to boost the morale, but before he could finish, he was beheaded by a sword light. It was Luo Chishui. With that sword, Luo Chishui's combat strength wasn't inferior to those core disciples. In fact, because of the life sword, his combat strength was even stronger. This time, he followed Zi Chen for a simple purpose. It was to repay his kindness. After the sword strike, Luo Chishui stood in place and released his soul power. He was sensing the existence of a higher cultivation level, and he wanted to kill them one by one. As for Zi Chen, he had nothing to do. These devil race elites in the eyes of the crowd were nothing in his eyes. The moment he appeared with his people, the defeat of these devils was foretold. Not to mention, Zi Chen had hundreds of Saint Talisman masters with him. Kill these bastards. The battle quickly reached the point of beating the devils while they were down. When the hundreds of thousands of people saw this scene, they rushed forward without hesitation. The previous defeat made them feel ashamed. Now that there was a chance for revenge, they couldn't wait to bite these devils to death. However, these people found that after the devils died, their heads would often be cut off. This puzzled them. However, they followed suit. Chapter 4291. After Zi Chen appeared, there was no more suspense in the battle. When the leader was killed by Zi Chen, the battle entered its final moments. Since the invasion of the demon race, they had made great achievements and killed countless spirit tribes in the Saint Spirit Field. And this time, they had suffered the greatest loss. 10,000 soldiers were killed, and not a single one was left alive. After the demon race was killed, everyone cheered for a long time. It seemed that this was the only way to release their excitement. It was the first time they knew that the demon race was so easy to kill. It turned out that the demon race was not that strong after all. Then, the gate of the Supreme Domain opened, and everyone returned to the city. In the city, the people who had lost all hope were welcoming the heroes back in triumph. It was these heroes who saved their lives. The people brought by Zi Chen were all smiling, and they seemed to enjoy the welcome. Someone in the crowd shouted Zi Chen, and then the people started to cheer for Zi Chen. Their voices were like waves, overlapping each other. Zi Chen held out his hand, and the cheers gradually stopped. Zi Chen said, "Today's honor belongs to them, and it also belongs to you. It was you who did not leave, and it was their bravery that led to the final victory." The cheers were heard again. Although most of them were forced to stay here, and some had even run away in fear, it did not matter anymore. Because they had won, and after winning a battle, their spirit, qi, and spirit would change accordingly. Naturally, they wouldn't run next time. A battle could build their confidence. At the back of the crowd, the holy sage Han Jun stood there and looked at the people with a smile. As Zi Chen and the others arrived, Han Jun clasped his hands and said, Thank you for this battle. Zichen said, we should also thank you, sir. Thank you for not retreating and for your persistence. Everything was said without saying anything. Because they were kindred spirits. Zichen walked forward, and someone came to arrange the living quarters for the soldiers. Zichen walked in front of the Lord, and the two of them walked side by side. On the way, Zichen said with shame, I was too cautious this time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to do this. He was referring to the fact that he did not participate in the battle. After all, if a Saint Venerable were to participate, it would be very easy for him to slaughter a team of 10,000 people. However, Han Jun was worried that the other party might have a backup plan, so he didn't make a move. At the same time, it was also for the dignity in his heart. Zichen said, soldiers fight with soldiers, generals fight with generals. The devil race is not familiar with our world and our style. If they knew, they would not have spent so much effort to bring some monsters to fight against the Holy Master. Earlier, when Zichen had easily killed moles, Han Jun had guessed that he was just dealing with a vanguard and that he didn't have any treasures on him. Zichen's words saved his face and also saved the face of all the Saint Venerables who had lost face. What do you plan to do next? Han Jun asked. Zichen pointed at his feet and said, I don't know what the future will be like, but as long as the devil race's Saint Venerables don't appear, we will start from here and beat them all back or kill them all. These words were inspiring. The battle had been going on for so long, and finally, someone was willing to fight. However, that person was Zichen. Although Han Jun had never interacted with Zichen before, after just a few words, he still felt sorry for Zichen. Chaos is coming. Why don't you continue to cultivate? Isn't it more important to break through to the Saint Venerable level? If I become a Saint Venerable, I won't have the face to fight against the devil race. So, my current realm is just right. It's not high or low. It's just right to kill the devil race. Han Jun heard another meaning in Zichen's words. If no one stood up now, what was the point of becoming a Saint Venerable after that? The spirit realm might be gone soon, and the spirit of the spirit race would be gone. Next, Han Jun only needed to stay in the sovereign domain. All the fighting was left to Zichen. After a few words, Zichen went to check the battle losses. In addition to the losses, he also promised to give the others battle merits. Han Jun's subordinate, the 9-star saint spirit called Wang Cheng, walked in and said, Sir, everyone took their heads to Zichen to exchange for resources. Even the people in the city went. Should we go too? Han Jun shook his head and said, Forget it. Zichen is already having a hard time. Let's not take advantage of him at this time. Wang Cheng asked in confusion, What do you mean? Han Jun said, Can't you see? Those resources must be paid by Zichen himself. The Holy Thunder clan won't care. Pay by himself? Wang Cheng was stunned for a moment before he said, If that's the case, then Zichen was the one who recruited these people and joined the battle himself. Han Jun said, Otherwise? How can the Holy Thunder clan not be able to gather an army of 10,000 people? How can there be so many motley troops with uneven realms? Wang Cheng was a little disappointed. He thought that the Holy Thunder clan had come to support them. He didn't expect that it was Zichen's personal action. He spent his own resources to help us fight here. This is also, Han Jun looked at Wang Cheng, What are you trying to say? Wang Cheng said sincerely, I don't understand his actions, but I admire him from the bottom of my heart. Perhaps only someone like him is qualified to be the #1 in the world. However, if it's an individual action, even if he has the Tianwu continent behind him, how long can he last? After all, the battle merits he gives are very generous. Han Jun sighed and said, Who knows? Maybe, as the battle erupts, the others will find their conscience. But Han Jun knew that this was just wishful thinking. Wang Cheng cupped his fists and left. After knowing the truth, he only admired Zichen. If it was him, he would definitely not do the same thing, so he could only admire him. After returning, he warned his people that no one was allowed to go to Zichen to exchange for battle merits. If Zichen's wealth was exhausted one day and the war could not continue, then let that day come a little later. The news of the victory of the first battle immediately spread out. This had an extraordinary significance to the entire Saint Spirit realm. After calculating the battle merits, Grace came to Zi Chen. Those people who fled at the last moment said that they want to join our team. Do you want to recruit them? Previously in the spiritual boat, Grace saw very clearly that those people lost their courage and began to flee. They even implicated the regular army. Zi Chen didn't even think and said, yes. Grace reminded, you have to think carefully. There are many people this time. If a similar situation happens again, your people will also be implicated. Chapter 4292. Zi Chen did not know how big the next battle would be, but he knew that the people he brought were not enough. He needed more people. He needed people, and now that there were people who wanted to join, there was no reason to refuse. Zi Chen said, I will go and find the saint later and ask him to give everyone a chance to choose to leave or stay. When you're recruiting these people, tell them that if they run away, they'll only end up dead. We won't back down on this matter. Grace nodded, and then said, if you recruit them, every battle will be a great loss. Do you have resources to replenish them? How long can this battle last? Zi Chen said, don't worry, I have considered this point. At least, the battle will not stop in a short period of time. Grace left, and Zi Chen fell into deep thought. As the battle continued, the scale would naturally become larger, and the resources needed would also become more and more. It was obviously impossible to make everyone fight based on their feelings. When the time came, they would need an endless supply of resources. Where would these resources come from? The vanguard was completely wiped out. This was not a blow or a deterrent to the demon race, but a humiliation. A great humiliation. The 5 commanders who arrived first were all furious. Mo Di, who was in charge of a territory, was even more furious. Zi Chen, this damn guy, we haven't even killed our way to the Holy Thunder Clan, and you actually came out first. Mo Di sat there, furious, and his eyes seemed to spit fire. It was not that he felt sorry for the people who died, but that the failure made him feel humiliated. The other 3 commanders also sat there with extremely ugly expressions. They were able to obtain complete victory in every battle, but this time, they had actually lost, and their entire army had been wiped out. Liu Zhen stood alone. He was obviously a commander, but standing beside the 4 of them, his status seemed to be lower. How many people do we have left? Mo Di suddenly asked. Sir, there are currently 30,000 troops stationed here, and the others have gone to plunder. Liu Zhen said, his attitude was very respectful. 30,000? All right, Before Mo Di could finish speaking, Liu Zhen interrupted him and said, Sir, don't be anxious. That Zi Chen can easily destroy our 10,000-strong army. I'm afraid that 3 times the number of people won't be enough. Mo Di glared at Liu Zhen. What's wrong? How can that trash Mars compare to the team I lead? Liu Zhen hurriedly shook his head and explained, My lord, you misunderstand. What I mean is that we can gather another group of people. As for Zi Chen, if it's just a matter of getting back at him, I can bring 10,000 soldiers to the front to challenge him and then slowly wait for my lord's reinforcements to arrive. You're going to challenge him? Mo Di was startled when he heard this. The other 3 commanders also looked at Liu Zhen in surprise. Bringing 10,000 people to challenge them, wasn't that just courting death? Liu Zhen said, to be honest, I really don't want to go this time because it's too dangerous. However, after coming to the spirit realm, I received a lot of battle credits from you, but I just followed behind them and didn't do anything, so I naturally felt guilty. This time, I summoned up the courage to challenge them. Maybe I'll die, but I can't lose the face of our devil race, right? There's still some time before the army can be mobilized. If we don't go over now, those spirit race idiots will think that we're afraid of them. Hearing Liu Zhen's words, the commanders of the devil clan looked at him differently. At the very least, the disdain and contempt they had for him had lessened a little. Since that's the case, you can go. Mo Di nodded and agreed. There was a touch of joy on Liu Zhen's face. Thank you, my lords. If I'm lucky enough to survive this time, I hope that my lords can put in a few good words for me when I return. After all, I'm not an aristocratic family, and there's no holy sage in my ancestors, so my surname has never changed. Well said. Mo Di smiled and nodded. It was normal for him to have something to ask for when he took such a risk. And for the devil race in the world, having the surname Mo was the greatest glory. Otherwise, he would not be a real devil and would not be able to get the recognition of the upper class. Liu Zhen left with 10,000 soldiers and went directly to the Han Junzun district to help the devil race get back at them. The other 4 commanders began to gather the army. Originally, they planned to find Zi Chen and kill all the way to the Holy Thunder Clan to kill Zi Chen. They did not expect that Zi Chen would take the initiative to come out, which was exactly what they wanted. The devil race's treasure must be snatched back. Liu Zhen led 10,000 soldiers and arrived outside the Han Junzun district in a grandiose manner. He looked at the district in the distance, his eyes gradually narrowed, and a cold light appeared in them. Boundless killing intent was released, and the surrounding temperature seemed to drop a lot. The devil race behind him could not help but shiver. The killing intent was so strong, it seemed that my lord was really angry. The devil race bastards are here again. Haha, are they here to give me merits? Only 10,000 have come, it's not enough to share. Wanton laughter rang out from the sovereign domain. Sure enough, it's different. Liu Zhen murmured. Along the way, except for the first battle, he saw the weakness of the spirit race, and then he saw the cowardice and timidity of the spirit race. There were very few who had courage. They were like moths to a flame, without organization and discipline, dying one after another. This time was different. He saw that the spirit race's courage was aroused. Was all this because of Zi Chen? Unbearable curses sounded one after another, which made Liu Zhen come back to his senses. He shouted angrily, "Shut up, all of you. Have you forgotten how weak you were when you were running away? When you fled here, how many of your compatriots died? Have you forgotten?" As soon as this sentence came out, it caused even more anger. Immediately, some people expressed that they wanted to go out of the city to fight. Of course, it was just shouting. "You idiots, I can kill 2 groups of you if a group comes. Come out if you have the ability." Liu Zhen ridiculed, "If it's not Zi Chen, you're nothing. Let me tell you, I'm not here today to talk nonsense with you defeated troops. I'm here to find Zi Chen and give him a letter of challenge. Tell him to get the hell out here. Lord Liu Zhen is here today for his head." As soon as this sentence came out, unsurprisingly, it caused more curses. The reason why everyone was so excited and belligerent was, of course, because Zi Chen was here. Liu Zhen's voice transmitted into the venerable region. Everyone heard it clearly. This included Zi Chen. A familiar voice and a familiar name pulled Zi Chen back to reality from his deep thoughts. His mind moved slightly, and he left the room. The gate of the district opened, and Zi Chen walked out, and the curses disappeared. "Are you the one who is shouting?" Zi Chen looked at Liu Zhen in the distance and said indifferently, "How do you want to die?" Liu Zhen snorted coldly and said, "Cut the crap. Today, I'm here to give you 2 choices. First, submit to us and be used by the demon race in the future. Second, resist and wait for death here. When the demon race's army arrives, we'll kill all of you." After so many years, the 2 met again. Chapter 4293. Zi Chen looked at Liu Zhen in front of him. After so many years, the demonic aura on his body had become stronger, and he was not any weaker than the previous commanders. However, he was still called Liu Zhen, obviously because he had not obtained the demonic surname yet. In fact, Zi Chen was a little surprised. He did not expect that the other party would also come to the spiritual world. However, it made sense. This time, the demonic snake guards were leading the attack, and as the commander of the demonic snake guards, Liu Zhen was naturally a part of it. He did not know how old Blindy and the others were doing. Now that the 2 armies were facing each other, Zi Chen certainly could not reminisce with the other party. Looking at the silent Zi Chen, Liu Zhen said indifferently, "My patience is limited. Have you thought about it?" Zi Chen stretched out a finger. Liu Zhen smiled and said, "Is it the first option? At least you know your place." Then Zi Chen stretched out 3 more fingers. "It's the third option." "What?" Liu Zhen said angrily, "Are you playing with me? I gave you 2 options, not 3. Zichen said, "I added 1 option, which is to kill all of you." Excited cheers came from behind. Many people looked at the demons, thinking about their value. Liu Zhen's expression changed. "You dare." He was very nervous, because this Zichen, who used to be called Mo Chen, was not playing by the rules. Was he really going to kill him on the spot? What about the friendship between them? Shouts and curses came from behind Zichen, and many people could not wait. Previously, they had eaten such a team of 10,000 people. Now, it would not be a problem to eat another batch. Zichen smiled faintly and said, "Of course I dare, but for now, I am still very happy to let you live a little longer. Because if I kill you, the other demons will not dare to come, and that will not be good." Humph. Speaking of which, I still don't dare. Liu Zhen snorted coldly, but this time, he had a lot of confidence. Sure enough, whether it was Mo Chen or Zichen, the cooperation between the two was still there. As long as Zichen admitted it, it would be fine. If they turned hostile, he would have completely lost the gamble this time. One had to know that if he lost, he would die. After Zichen finished speaking, he turned around and left. As expected, he didn't kill anyone. This made the people of the monarch domain feel very regretful. However, when they thought of Zichen's original intention of killing more demons, their hearts were filled with anticipation. That's right. How many contribution points can I get by killing these demons? If he could destroy tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of demons, he would gain a lot of merits. After confirming that Zichen would not make a move, Liu Chan sent a message to Mo Di. Mo Di was very surprised, but he could accept this result. The combat strength of these 10,000 people was not weak. When the time came, they would definitely kill the other party without leaving a single one alive. Mo Di said, "Since that Zichen is so arrogant, let him wait a few more days. When our army returns, we will kill him." The 3 commanders had no objections. However, if they wanted to kill Zichen, they would need to discuss it further. After all, they had seen Zichen's battle achievements and knew that he was not weak. The black thunder between heaven and earth seemed to have all disappeared overnight. The number of people using the flying boats that had been eliminated increased again. While Liu Chan was waiting for reinforcements, there were people coming from the Holy Thunder clan. They wanted to participate in the battle. The news of the victory of the first battle had already spread. At the same time, Zichen's reward had also spread. Naturally, more and more people were joining. However, more people were watching. If Zichen could win the second battle, they believed that more people would come. Those corpses have been put into these spirit rings. Grace took a dozen spirit rings and handed them to Zichen. These were the corpses obtained after cleaning up the battlefield according to Zichen's instructions. These corpses were almost useless because the energy crystals in their bodies had been taken away. Even the battle robes and battle armors had been taken off. Their heads had also been exchanged for battle merits. She divided them according to different levels. Zichen took these spirit rings and thanked her. "Those demons outside, are we just going to let them stay there?" Grace said, "Their mouths are not clean. They haven't been idle all this time." Zichen smiled and said, "Aren't our counterattacks very sharp?" Since Zichen's return, the 2 sides had begun another war of words. Both sides had been exchanging words and neither side had suffered a loss. If we leave these 10,000 people behind now, we can kill more than 10 times the enemies in the future. It's worth it. A cold light suddenly flashed in Zichen's eyes. It's fine if we don't fight, but if we do, we have to hurt them. Only in this way can we have a chance of winning in the future. If the Holy Spirits did not fight and only hoped to fight after becoming Holy Venerables, then the Holy Spirit realm would have no future. They wanted to become Holy Venerables by running away all the way. Of course, his relationship with Liu Chan was also a reason. However, he did not intend to tell Grace about it at the moment. For this kind of thing, the fewer people who knew, the better. Tell those holy talisman masters that their lives are more valuable than holy talismans. Therefore, during the battle, they should throw out as many holy talismans as possible. It's best if they stay alive. Zichen said, also, although I won't give them extra merits, all their consumption on the battlefield will be counted on me. I can give them as many holy talismans as they can use. Zichen had nothing to do these few days, so he had been drawing talismans and selling them at a very low price. It was not to make money, but to give those people more means to save their lives. War was actually a battle of people and resources. However, Zichen could only take out resources for cultivation and could not take out more resources for the battlefield. For example, the Holy Thunder clan had accumulated many holy talismans of various grades, all for the sake of using them on the battlefield one day. Unfortunately, Zichen did not have the authority to take them out. Even the Holy Talisman Palace did not have the authority to do so. Only Lei Zhengke had the final say in this matter. If Zichen could really use those holy talismans alone would be enough to kill hundreds of thousands of the Devil Race army. Up until now, the Ling clan had been running away. It was not that they were too weak, but that everyone was hiding their strength, from the big forces to the small forces that had abandoned the sovereign domain. Liu Zhen led his people and shouted outside for half a month. During this half a month, no reinforcements from the Devil Race arrived. Liu Zhen was not the slightest bit nervous about this. Instead, he was even happier. He had already guessed what Mo Di and the others were thinking. They were just worried that Zichen would take action, so they gathered everyone together and came over together. Liu Zhen glanced behind him. Among the 10,000 people, some of them were his confidants. He had carefully cultivated them. These people could not die, or they should die as little as possible. The rest could be left as he wished. If he was not wrong, this time, in order to completely kill Zichen, Mo Di would definitely call back all the people who had come for the first time. That was an army of hundreds of thousands. Finally, the reinforcements of the Devil Race arrived. Everything was as Liu Zhen had expected. The army of hundreds of thousands of Devil Race had all arrived. This was the greatest authority of the commanders. Mo Di wanted to forcibly swallow Han Zheng's sovereign domain and win an unprecedented victory. Chapter 4294. The faces of the spirit race, who had been cursing for days, changed when they saw the demon race. They, who had been eager to fight, began to feel afraid because there were too many demon race members. Zichen stood in the sky and took in the expressions of the people below. He smiled faintly and said, "Why? The battle hasn't really started and you're already afraid. Where's the courage you had a few days ago?" The people below suddenly became silent. "I'm not afraid. Isn't it just death?" A voice was heard. But few people echoed. Obviously, they were really afraid. The scene that Grace was worried about had happened before the battle. Zichen smiled and said, "Being afraid of death is not a shameful thing. I'm the same as you. I'm very afraid of death." Everyone raised their heads to look at Zichen. They could not imagine that the number one person would actually say that he was afraid of death. Zichen said, "The opponent has a treasure that can restrain a saint venerable. I'm just a 9-star saint spirit. How can I not be afraid? In the face of such a treasure, is it not shameful to be afraid of death? But can we retreat? Actually, I want to retreat, but where can we retreat to? Enemies will always be enemies. Right now, there are only a few 100,000 of them. But as we continue to retreat, and as the demon race continues to replenish, we will face hundreds of thousands, or even millions of demon race members in the future. What should we do then?" The people below were silent. Everyone listened quietly. "The only thing we can do now is to first kill a few 100,000 demon race members, then another few 100,000 until all the demon race members are killed. But the demon race is very strong. We are no match for them at the same level." A timid voice sounded. Zichen smiled and said, "I also know that the demon race is very strong. Compared to us, their individual combat power is indeed stronger. Or rather, they are much stronger. But so what? If we can't beat them one-on-one, we can fight 2 against 1, 3 against 1, or even 5 against 1. Don't forget, they only have a few 100,000, but we have hundreds of thousands of people this time. Even if we can't beat them, why don't we fight their low-level saint spirits? The 5 of us are 5-star holy spirits. Can we kill a 4-star demon if we join forces? Zichen looked at the holy spirits below and said, I'll have to trouble the 5-star holy spirits to say something. Can the 5 of you beat a 4-star holy spirit? Yes. The 5-star holy spirits below shouted in unison. There were actually quite a few of them. Zichen said, isn't that right? Don't think that you'll get fewer battle merits. In fact, it's not a small amount at all. Because the 5 of you can safely kill one. After killing one, you can kill a second one. At the very least, you can fight a 3-star battle, okay? If you feel that the merit points are too little, you can find a 3-star friend and give them the merit points to exchange. This sentence caused a burst of laughter. Zichen was clearly telling everyone how to take advantage of the loopholes in the rules he had set. Zichen continued, as for those Spirit Ascension tier cultivators, no, you can only fight one demon in a group. Find 3 to 5 friends, or 17 to 18, and capture one demon and beat it with all your strength. I don't believe that it can fight dozens of demons at once. But if we only fight the low-level demons, who will fight the high-level demons? Every single one of them is extremely lethal. Another voice came from below. Zichen said, of course it will be those powerful cultivators who will fight. Do you think they will also fight the low-level demons with you? Do you all still want face? As for those powerful ones, there is really no one who can deal with them. Zichen pointed at himself, and said, of course leave it to me. I am a powerful cultivator with the title of Invincible. Don't tell me you all want to snatch battle merits from me. Also, when you are fighting, don't just stand there and wait for death. We are going to fight, not to throw away our lives. If there is a demon that is extraordinarily powerful that you can't deal with, then hurry up and run. Lead them to the place where the powerful cultivators are fighting, such as those Saint Symbol Masters and high-level Saint Spirits. They can destroy the other party with a raise of their hand. Who knows, they might not even care about those merit points. Wouldn't you get them for nothing? Of course, if they think that an ant's leg is meat, you should just obediently find the next target. Roars of laughter rang out once again, and the hearts of the previously nervous crowd gradually calmed down. Hearing Zichen say this, the demon was actually not difficult to fight. They just had to find a target and beat it up. In the end, Zichen withdrew his smile, and said in a low voice, on the battlefield, including me, Zichen, life and death are up to fate, so I wish everyone good luck in advance. Your hard work will be worth it, because when you fight, your families will have a peaceful environment. Zichen's aura began to surge. Therefore, our mission this time is to kill all the demon, and let those who are unwilling to fight in other places see that our Ling clan is not weaker than the demon race. Kill. 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 Deafening shouts rang out. The morale of the team returned. Han Jun nodded. If they went out in this state, many of them should be able to return alive. At the same time, he also released the aura of a holy venerate, and said, everyone, although I can't go out to fight, I can lend you a hand. A ray of light flew out of Han Jun's body, turned into countless light spots in the sky, and landed below. Other than Zichen, everyone was bathed in the light spots. Their auras were clearly stronger. After helping so many people temporarily increase their strength in one go, Han Jun's holy venerate aura weakened significantly. Everyone, who was originally full of confidence, became even more confident at this moment. Let's go, kill the enemy. As Zichen's voice fell, the door to the monarch domain opened wide, and everyone began to fly out. The originally black mass of invincible demon race, at this moment, seemed to have become nothing more than this. Zichen walked at the front. In his field of vision was the leader of the demon race, Mo Di. Mo Di was also looking at Zichen at this moment. The two people looked at each other, and there was coldness and killing intent in their eyes. The one who wants to die has come out. Mo Di smiled faintly. As for the hundreds of thousands of troops behind Zichen, he did not care at all. 10,000 people had almost defeated them, let alone the hundreds of thousands he had brought. Right now, he was thinking about how to kill Zichen. Chapter 4295. On the battlefield, it was inevitable for both sides to exchange harsh words. Often, after a war of words, both sides would send out their troops to fight. Chen said ruthlessly, but in Mo Di's eyes, it was complete nonsense. The people he led were on a completely different level compared to the spirit race. Therefore, Mo Di was too lazy to talk nonsense. He waved his hand and said, "Kill." He had not thought of a way to kill Chen yet, so the two sides fought first. He could think of a way as he fought. The demon race army moved forward. Billowing demon chi filled the void, and the powerful pressure made people feel suffocated. Chen did not move, and neither did the people behind him. At this moment, everyone was very nervous. Even after Chen's enlightenment, they could not calm down when they truly felt the demon race's aura. After all, the next battle was a life and death battle. Chen's body flashed, and a sacred rune brush appeared. It was mysterious and unfathomable. He had not used it for a long time. Now, in order to raise morale, he had to attack first. The demon race at the front began to accelerate, and all kinds of strange phenomena appeared around them. Chen placed the brush in the void and gently drew a line. Light bloomed from the tip of the brush, and a dazzling line appeared in the void. It was like a boundary between heaven and earth, separating heaven and earth. Heaven and earth brush. When the demon race at the front encountered the extending line, the demon chi around them immediately dissipated. Their bodies were divided into two, and their souls were immediately destroyed. In an instant, hundreds of demon race soldiers died. Although this number was not worth mentioning for the demon race army of more than 100,000, it was enough to raise morale. Behind Chen, a murderous aura surged. Everyone's eyes became firm and cold again. Murderous intent rose from their hearts. "Kill!" Chen shouted and charged forward. "Take the lead." In an instant, hundreds of attacks appeared in the sky, heading straight for Chen. In front of Chen, the light Dun Li rose like a wall, attracting the attacks. He kept moving forward. The army behind him followed closely behind. Powerful existences like Luo Chishire followed closely behind Chen. In the blink of an eye, Chen rushed into the midst of the demons. His powerful killing intent erupted, and he did not hold back at all. Luo Chishire and the others also arrived. The hundreds of thousands of soldiers behind them, after suffering some losses, also clashed with the devil army. Then, the entire battlefield was expanded infinitely, turning into a single battlefield. The 5 commanders all stood at the back. Looking at Chen who was leading the charge, Mo Di coldly laughed. "His battle strength doesn't seem weak, but the soldiers he brought are too weak." Liu Zhen nodded and said, "You're right, sir. This is a cruel war. So what if one's combat strength is very strong? If the battle continues like this, Chen will be hacked to death without even needing to use a powerful trump card." Mo Di turned around and looked at Liu Zhen, who was standing behind him tactfully. "You have done well this time. When we go back, we will speak up for you. However, it is still impossible for you to obtain the Mo surname unless you can become a holy sovereign, or if a holy sovereign appears in your family. This was the rule, and it would not change." "Thank you, sir." Liu Zhen said, "I also know that it is unlikely, but living in this world, there should always be a wish." Mo Di said, "It is good to have a wish, but what you said before is wrong. It is not impossible, it is simply impossible." Mo Di thought of the rumor and said, "Unless you are willing to give up your surname. Well, I remember there is a saying called marrying into the family. In this way, your wish should be fulfilled." When the other 3 commanders heard this, there was a smile in their eyes. Why could this guy named Liu Zhen come here as the vanguard? Just because he had many battle merits? Bullshit. In the devil army, which commander did not have many battle merits? It was just that they had some unspeakable secrets. Everyone who came here had an absolute relationship. It was just that Liu Zhen was different from them. They had a true family relationship, while Liu Zhen had sold her own dignity. This was another reason why they looked down on Liu Zhen in addition to not having the Mo surname. On the battlefield, everything continued, but the scale was much larger than usual. The smile on Mo Di's face suddenly changed. Somewhere in the battlefield ahead, several holy talisman lights suddenly lit up, and then several 5-star devil army were killed. Life and death was a very normal thing. Logically speaking, it should not be strange. But Modi discovered that in a few nearby directions, the light of holy talisman appeared again, and then more holy spirits died. Damn it, it's those holy talisman masters. They are actually gathered in one place. Modi's face was angry. Those hundreds of holy talisman masters occupied an area by themselves. They were only fighting in this area, and outside this area, there were constantly weak spirit race people, luring the powerful devil army over, and then being killed by them. And looking at other places, the battlefield was completely divided. In some places, dozens of spirit race people were besieging a devil army of the same realm, equivalent to one against dozens. The devil army was very strong, but one against dozens at the same time, how could they win? Moreover, among these dozens of spirit race people, there were many who were not strong, but were insidious. In just a moment, this devil army member was exhausted to death. Modi's gaze turned again, looking to the other side, and he was even more anxious. There were actually 5 5-star holy spirits working together to deal with one of his 4-star subordinates. Where was their shame? It was originally a battle of numbers, but now they were actually working together to fight one of lower realms. So the other side died even faster. Where are they? Where are our people? Modi was furious. The devil army had higher realms, so how could they be in such a passive situation? Then he saw an 8-star devil army member charging in that direction. As long as he approached, those 5 5-star spirit race people would definitely die. But who knew that at this moment, the 5 of them would quickly retreat, no longer fighting. The 8-star devil army member did not give up, and followed closely. A powerful energy shockwave suddenly appeared from the side and sent the 8-star saint spirit flying. Before he could stabilize his body, a beam of sword light flew from afar and pierced his heart. Those 5-star holy spirits did not care about this at all, and went to find the next weakling. The other commanders also saw the changes on the battlefield, and they were all stunned. Liu Zhen said, "This kind of fighting is too wretched. This is the shameless spirit race. Their battle strength is not as good as ours, so they can only play these little tricks." At this moment, they were all suppressing those of lower realms. Even Luo Chishure was dealing with the 8-star devils, because they were easy to kill. As for those of higher realms, they were left to Zi Chen, Ren Zhang, and the elusive ghost. An army of more than 100,000 devil army could indeed exhaust Zi Chen to death, but Zi Chen did not directly come into contact with the army, and he only killed the 9-star devils. With his battle strength, he could still wipe out all the 9-star devils. Go to hell, all of you go to hell. Chapter 4296. The moment the wand appeared, a terrifying aura of oppression appeared. The glowing wand had once repelled several saint venerables. Han Jun had stayed in the monarch region because he was afraid of this item. But now, he had distributed his power to everyone and was unable to fight anymore. He could only watch the wand show its power. The magic wand stood in the void. As Modi moved, a large amount of brilliance flew down from above. This brilliance was very terrifying. Once swept by it, death was certain. And looking at the current situation, the wand's power was much stronger than Zi Chen's. Seeing that the spirit clan was about to be wiped out, and there were even a few demons among them, a scroll appeared out of thin air and blocked the light. It was the demon god scroll. Asterisk 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 Zi Chen's hall was in the Tianwu continent, guarding the Thunder region, so that the Tianwu continent had an endless supply of energy. The Hall of Souls was in the Thunder spirit plane, and it was also the core. The only thing that Zi Chen could bring with him was the demonic god painting. The scroll blocked the wand, creating a powerful energy wave that sent the nearby spirit clan and demons flying. Seeing this, Modi smiled faintly. As expected, but you don't deserve to have this scroll. He turned around and glanced behind him, only to see another commander walking over. There was an item in his hand, it was a black-colored devil seal, and he was moving forward. This was the first time the demon seal had appeared in the world, and it cooperated with the wand to fight against the scroll. This is our trump card. Originally, it was to guard against the saint venerables of your world. I didn't expect them to be so useless, running away after a fight. Some ran away without a fight, so only one has appeared. Modi said proudly, Now, what else do you have? Zi Chen stood in the void and said indifferently, I still have my own battle strength. At this moment, Luo Chishure was quickly dodging behind. Several 9-star demons were attacking him together. He completely ignored Zi Chen's difficult situation and led the others in this direction. Mo Di and the other commanders saw it, but they did not step forward to stop it. Now that Zi Chen's painting had been blocked, he only had 9 stars left. As long as he expended more energy, he would definitely die. Right at this moment, Zi Chen reached out and tapped the space between his eyebrows. In the next moment, a beam of soul power flew out. This soul power was like a bolt of purple lightning, and it split into several streaks that shot toward the 9-star devilish beings that were tailing Luo Chishure. In the next instant, all of these 9-star demons collapsed. He was dead. This was Zi Chen's current soul power, the incomplete purple soul. Zi Chen's soul power hadn't been depleted in the slightest after killing several 9-star demons with a single strike. He was still standing there, and his aura was still incomparably powerful. Mo Di was shocked. This kind of battle prowess was somewhat terrifying. When the others saw this, they followed suit and lured the experts they couldn't handle to Zi Chen. Zi Chen stood where he was. He did not refuse anyone who was willing to take the bait. Those who took the bait all died. Zi Chen was like a machine with plenty of energy. He never knew what fatigue was. If one came, he would kill one. If 2 came, he would kill a pair. If a group came, he would kill them all. Similar incidents were happening in other places. Once there was a difficult opponent, they would lure them to the side of other powerhouses. Otherwise, they would directly give up and find a soft persimmon to bully. Originally, they would have been defeated in one strike, but after using this method, they were able to forcibly block the devil race's army. Han Jun stood in the sovereign domain and sighed with emotion. A single person could change the situation of the battle. This was something he couldn't imagine before. If there were more Zi Chen in this world, or more people like Zi Chen, why would they have to worry about the divine race and the demon race? No matter how many came, they would be able to kill as many as they came. After all, in terms of numbers, the spirit realm had hundreds of times more people than them. Liu Zhen still stood at the back. It had to be said that this kind of wretched fighting method allowed those spirit race people to survive. This was clearly Zi Chen's idea. However, to complete this kind of cooperation, they needed a powerhouse like Zi Chen. The commander-level battle had not started yet, but Liu Zhen already saw the outcome. Mo Di, who had always been conceited, still did not make a move as he watched his subordinates die one after another. This proved that his confidence was not that sufficient. Coupled with the 2 great methods of the magic staff and demonic seal, they were actually unable to suppress the picture scroll. This made them even more fearful. Zi Chen killed another 2 powerhouses that were lured over. Then, he hooked his hand at Mo Di in the distance and said in a clear voice, "As the leader, you guys are just going to watch me kill like this?" Mo Di snorted coldly and said, "I'll just stand here without moving. In the end, the ones who die will still be you guys." This sentence was not false. The battle had continued until now. Both sides had been dying. In terms of overall combat strength, the demon race was still stronger. Therefore, as long as the battle continued indefinitely, the final victor might be the demon race, but it would definitely be a Pyrrhic victory. In the end, not many people would survive. And the hundreds of thousands of people on Zi Chen's side would have to be handed over here. During this period, they also had to consider the issue of morale. Zi Chen laughed when he heard that and said, "Is that so? Just nice, everything is also to my liking. Let's see who dies out first between our 2 sides." Zi Chen's figure flashed, going from motionless to taking the initiative to attack. It was to find loopholes and fill in the gaps. Where the people were almost unable to hold on, he would go up to help, or provide long-range assistance. Mo Di said in a cold voice, "Then it'll definitely be you guys who die out first, because our reinforcements will be arriving right away." At present, the demon race had an army of more than 100,000. The losses had just exceeded 10,000, and they actually started talking about reinforcements. This time, Zi Chen did not respond, because there was no meaning. Those few commanders did not fight at the rear, while Zichen was somewhat passive. But he believed that those demons would not be able to hold on for too long. Because right at this time, the door to the venerable region opened, and a batch of reinforcements came. At the same time, some flying ships appeared in their field of vision. They were people who had rushed over from other places and joined the battlefield. Looking at this scene, Liu Zhen said, "If we continue to delay, the battle will be very disadvantageous to us. Because this is the spiritual realm, they have countless reinforcements. Previously, they had killed all the way, and the spirit race had run all the way. Wherever they went, they would kill. There was almost no threatening resistance. But this time was different. Under Zichen's leadership, the spirit race did not run away, so naturally, there were more reinforcements. Join forces to kill him." A fierce light flashed in Mo Di's eyes. If this continued, perhaps the situation would really be disadvantageous to them. He immediately flew high into the sky and shouted, "Zichen, die for me." The demonic power around him turned into a demonic snake. The demonic snake's body was close to 10,000 feet long. It spat out its tongue and charged towards Zichen. "You're finally going to make a move." A smile appeared on the corner of Zichen's mouth. After he finished off his opponent with a punch, he faced the demonic snake. A punch landed. The dazzling lightning was like a sun, illuminating the void world. A rumble sounded. Chapter 4297. The flying demonic snake did not disperse. It stared coldly at Zichen and spoke in human language, "You dare to call yourself number one in the spiritual realm with such combat strength." When the other 4 commanders saw this, they followed suit and each transformed into a demonic snake. This was the unique divine ability of the demonic snake guard, and its power was unparalleled. The 5 demonic snakes stared at Zichen with murderous intent surging in their eyes. In the next moment, the 5 demonic snakes each displayed their divine ability. It was as if 5 black holes were opening, trying to devour Zichen. Feeling the tearing force, Zichen smiled and disappeared into thin air. He came in front of a demonic snake and punched it in the head. Boom! The demonic snake was sent flying. A whistling sound came from behind. It was ice thorns that looked like flying swords. Zichen's figure flashed again, dodging the ice thorns. He came in front of the second demonic snake and punched it again. The devouring force from the space and the strange pressure formed by the 5 demonic snakes had no effect on Zichen. He walked as if he was walking on flat ground. He then flew up and punched one of them. The 5 demonic snakes were beaten back. On the spiritual realm's side, cheers shook the sky. The 5 commanders were unable to gain the upper hand against Zichen, which showed how powerful Zichen was. As for the demons, their morale was affected. The demonic serpents in the sky hadn't disappeared and were still attacking. However, all of their attacks were neutralized by Zichen. Furthermore, Zichen's attacks caused the 5 of them to continuously retreat, their bodies unsteady. Every time the 5 commanders fell back, it was a blow to the demons' morale. Han Jun didn't understand. He understood Zichen. Zichen's combat strength was extraordinarily strong. If it was said that Zichen didn't immediately kill them because there were too many demons, then why didn't Zichen use a thunderous method to kill them all now that the 5 commanders had gathered? Although the demons' morale was constantly falling, how could it be more shocking than being killed in an instant? Zichen was obviously stalling for time. Why? After all, the picture scroll was still being restrained by the 2 demon weapons in the sky. If this continued, the picture scroll would definitely be the one to be defeated. What was going on? Just as Sacred Venerate Han Jun was feeling puzzled, Zichen suddenly exerted his strength and punched the head of a demonic snake. The huge body of the demonic snake exploded as it flew backward. Commander Liu Zhen's figure appeared. His face turned pale, and he coughed up blood as he flew backwards. He was wounded. Then, Zichen's figure flickered again, and his second punch scattered another demonic snake. Then, with the third punch, the demonic snake that Mo Di had transformed into was also destroyed. The 4th punch. On the 5th punch, Zichen gathered even more power on his fist. When he destroyed the demonic snake, he also killed the 9-star commander. One of the 5 commanders had died. When the other 4 commanders saw this, their expressions changed drastically. "Now, I'll send you on your way." In Zichen's eyes, there was a cold murderous intent. The long spear that he had never used before appeared in his hand. "Die." In an instant, Zichen approached. He thrust his spear forward, and a powerful force surged on the long spear. The eyes of this commander, who had been targeted, were filled with horror. The instant the long spear arrived, he felt the threat of death looming over him. A demonic saber appeared in his hand. The saber was completely black, and he held it horizontally in front of him. At the same time, he activated the black robe on his body, forming a defense. Facing Zichen's spear, this was the only thing he could do. Crack! The long spear pressed forward, and the demonic saber was instantly split in half. Then, the long spear pierced through the demonic robe and the nine-star demon's body. The soul power hidden in the long spear instantly destroyed the opponent's soul. The second commander of the demon clan died. Then, Zichen looked at Mo Di. Go quickly." At this moment, Liu Zhen shouted. A demon orb appeared in front of him. The demon orb immediately enlarged and turned into a thick mountain peak. The mountain peak was surrounded by demonic aura. The aura was terrifying, and there was a faint pressure of a sacred venerate. Liu Zhen moved his hand seal, and the mountain peak with a trace of sacred venerate aura crashed toward Zichen. Zichen shook the long spear in his hand and thrust forward again. With a boom, the mountain peak exploded. As for the three commanders, they had already fled far away. If they did not run, they would die. Die! Zichen shouted angrily and chased after them. At this moment, the demonic staff and the demonic seal suddenly flew back and attacked Zichen. These two things, even a sacred venerate had to retreat, let alone him. Zichen did not chase after them, and the scroll flew forward. The two demonic weapons that could threaten a sacred venerate turned into streams of light and flew away. The commander of the demon clan has fled. Kill him without mercy. On the battlefield, the spirit clan people roared. Then, more roars could be heard. Even the leader had fled, and the demon clan people no longer had the courage to fight, so they retreated one by one. However, there were still some who resisted. After all, their combat power was far superior to the spirit clan. Zichen originally wanted to use the scroll, but after thinking about it, he dismissed the idea. He flashed forward and began to kill the enemies. All those who resisted were no match for Zichen, so they died one by one. The rebels stopped resisting, and everyone began to flee. Chase! Zichen looked at the demons that were beginning to flee and gave the order. Everyone chased after them and began to kill in the pursuit. This was the effect that Zichen wanted. During this time, those who were in charge of calculating merits took out crystal balls to record this scene. Next, Zichen wanted to tell the world that the demon clan was not as powerful as they thought. They could still die, they could still be afraid, and they could still be slaughtered by the spirit clan. If he wanted to win this battle, Zichen had many ways to do so. He could even single-handedly annihilate this army. However, in the battle of a world, the combat power of an individual would always be insignificant. He could change the situation of a region, but he could not change the situation of a world. In order to completely change all this and turn the situation around, all the Spirit Clan people had to unite. With confidence, the Spirit Clan people who had the advantage in numbers would be able to chase away the God Clan and the Demon Clan. Zichen was confident. However, this was destined to not be an easy path to take. Zichen also chased after them. During this time, he was still checking and patching up the gaps. He rarely made a move. The Spirit Clan people were crazy with killing, and they were shouting and yelling excitedly. Even some of the reserve troops who were originally in the Supreme Region ran out and began to chase after the Demon Clan people. The pursuit continued, and the news spread out in a very short time, causing an uproar once again. Chapter 4298. The Holy Thunder Clan was one of the few major powers in the Saint Spirit realm. Even though the world had changed, their intelligence network was still perfect. The news of that battle quickly spread back, and as expected, it attracted some mockery and ridicule. There were still many people who couldn't bear to see Zichen doing well, and even more, they couldn't bear to see Zichen win. When the news reached the Thunder Protector Department, the old man smiled. That's really something. Beside the old man stood a man. After hesitating, the man said, "Sir, there have been a lot of rumors about the Thunder Protector Department." The old man asked, "What rumors?" "They say that the Thunder Protector Department sent troops without orders. They want to curry favor with Zi Chen," the man said. The old man laughed. "They want to curry favor, but they still have to see if Zi Chen is willing to accept them. Don't worry about them. Take another 3,000 people and go support Zi Chen." "What?" The man was stunned. "We still have to send people? Is that appropriate?" The old man sighed. "You guys are all short-sighted and can't see far ahead. Now that we send people, there will only be benefits and no harm." The man didn't understand. "Do we really have to curry favor with Zi Chen? Even if Zi Chen becomes the leader of the Holy Thunder Clan in the future, the Thunder Protector Department is an independent department. Why should we do that?" The old man said patiently, "Do you still remember what Zi Chen promised when he left?" The man naturally knew. Zi Chen promised a lot of rewards. "The battle has been going on for so long. I guess he's regretting it." The old man said, "Of course he's regretting it, but it's impossible for him to regret it. Right now, the Thunder Protector Department only needs to send some people. We don't need to spend money. We can even earn money outside, which can be considered as saving some expenses for the Thunder Protector Department. If we had delayed, not only would we have to send people, but we would also have to fork out extra money. How is that possible?" The man didn't understand. "This war was initiated by Zi Chen. What does it have to do with us?" "You'll find out soon. Zi Chen isn't as stupid as you think, but he's sincere in wanting to do something for the spirit realm. However, this is indeed the case. Only truly intelligent people can save the spirit realm." The battle was still going on, and so was the pursuit. The demons fled from one world to another. More and more people were chasing after him, and they were all from various venerable regions. Some came for the reward of resources, some came for the passion, and some came for revenge. No matter what the reason was, more and more people came. Zi Chen's promise hadn't changed. He was still giving out rewards to everyone. On this day, Grace came to Zi Chen and said directly, "We don't have enough resources. If this continues, we won't be able to hold on for long." Zi Chen nodded. After winning the first battle and recruiting hundreds of thousands of people, he had made a decision. Grace left. Since Zi Chen already knew about it, it was time for her to do her own things. The next moment, Zi Chen disappeared from the room. He returned to the Tianwu continent and found Jolina. He said, "The rent of the Tianwu world and the Thunder Spirit world will be doubled from now on." Jolina knew the situation on Zi Chen's side. As long as the battle started, there would be an endless supply of resources. She didn't ask if this was appropriate and nodded in agreement. Zi Chen's idea was very simple. Since they weren't going to fight, it was necessary to pay some money. As soon as the news came out, there were naturally voices of opposition. However, the opposition was ineffective. Everyone only had two choices. They could either increase the price or leave. However, after hearing the news, more people began to clap their hands and cheer. Zi Chen was fighting on the front lines and was consuming their own resources. Under such circumstances, it was normal for him to increase the price. Otherwise, where would the money come from? After all, many people were considering going over. It was better for Zi Chen to increase the price here than to deduct their battle merits in the future. However, everyone was also worried. This kind of action was like killing the goose that laid the golden eggs. For the huge battlefield, it was completely inadequate. They wouldn't be able to last long. After all, the number of Zi Chen's army was increasing. It was said that it had exceeded 600,000 and was still increasing. In fact, Zi Chen only managed to maintain the new batch of resources for half a month before he was stretched to the limit. Zi Chen went back again. This time, he didn't look for Jolina. Instead, he went to the inner city to look for the city lord. Zi Chen immediately said when he saw the city lord, "I don't have enough resources. The war can't continue. Do you have any good suggestions?" The city lord was in a difficult position. He knew about Zichen's recent deeds and was happy for Zichen. However, when he saw Zichen in person, he felt a headache. Zichen said, "If you don't have the final say, then I'll go find someone who does. Or should I go find Lei Zhengke?" The city lord's expression suddenly changed. Directly calling Lei Zhengke's name was a great disrespect. Zichen continued, "I think that we have to have some face in this world. Right now, there are rumors outside that the good resources have been taken away by the major forces. They always think of themselves as the dominant forces, but when the crisis comes, they actually hide." The city lord's expression began to change. After a while, he asked, "What do you want?" Zichen said, "1 head and 10 times the reward." "You guys are in charge of purchasing." The city lord said, "Are you crazy? 10 times? Isn't your side only 5 times? You're different from me. I'm poor, but you're rich. How can we be the same?" Zichen looked at the city lord's ugly expression and said, "Don't put on a bitter face. You won't lose much because there are still many spoils of war that need to be refined. I don't have that many people, so I naturally have to give them all to you." "Let me think about it," the city lord said. Zichen stood up. "You should ask Lei Zhengke if he's willing. I'll wait for your news." With that, Zichen left the inner city and returned to the Sky Marshal continent. But he didn't stop. He used the spirit core again and went to the next area. Sacred Moon Clan. Zichen's sudden appearance in the Sacred Moon Clan shocked many people. Even the guards suspected that this was fake. Because everyone knew that Zichen was on the battlefield. "I want to see the Moon Lord." Zichen stated his purpose for coming. No one knew what Zichen's purpose was, but some people had their own guesses, so they were in a difficult position. "Moon Lord, you must know that I'm here. I wonder if you can show yourself," Zichen said as he looked at the sky. The others' expressions changed. How could this be? To directly alarm the Moon Lord, what kind of scandal was this? A passage appeared in front of him and Zichen walked in. The Moon Lord had specially gone to the Sky Marshal continent to look for him, so Zichen and the Moon Lord were quite familiar. This was also the reason why he came to look for the Moon Lord first. "Tell me your purpose for coming. I have a lot of demon heads here. I hope that the Sacred Moon Clan can buy them at 10 times the price. Do you think that's possible?" It's still possible. Because of the great calamity, all the major forces are working hard to develop themselves. Since they don't contribute, what's the point of paying a little money? Chapter 4299. The Holy Spirit world had the Holy Clan, but what did the Holy Clan have? They had resources. Countless resources. They had experts. Countless experts. They had all kinds of cultivation treasures and secret places. They had developed for many years and occupied the most resources in the spiritual world. Their foundation was immeasurably deep. So Zichen, who had no money to fight, came to ask these big forces for money. "Didn't you say you didn't contribute? Then you can pay, right? Don't you cherish your lives? You don't have to go to the battlefield. Just pay me." The two sides only exchanged a few words, but everything was clear. The world was in chaos. The big forces could watch the show and conserve their energy, but please take out some money. "We will fight the war. You just need to pay. We will die ourselves. You just need to pay. You just need money." Everyone outside said that you are so poor that you are crazy. Now it seems that it is true. The Moon Master, whose face could not be seen clearly, said, "Compared with the giants like the Holy Moon Clan, of course I am poor." Zichen said with a smile, "Actually, I came here this time to raise the price to 15 times, because when I came just now, the Holy Thunder Clan had already agreed to pay me 10 times the price. But thinking that you are still cultivating here, I have to give them some face. So I will still pay the original price." "Holy Thunder Clan? You use this word to describe your clan?" The Moon Master laughed. Zichen sighed and said, "I can't help it. I, Zichen, am a person who cares about face. For so many years, I have been a leader. When I was robbing resources, I was so righteous. Now that danger is coming, I don't care. I am ashamed to be in the same clan as such. Why don't you think of a way to let me leave the Holy Thunder clan and join the Holy Moon clan? Of course, the premise is that you don't dislike me. The Moon Master took a deep look at Zi Chen. Okay, 10 times the price. Our Moon clan agrees. Zi Chen praised, Moon Master is so straightforward. I believe that once the news spreads, everyone will praise the Moon clan. The Moon Master waved her hand gently and said, our Moon clan will not suffer this loss. Don't try to cheat one clan. Don't worry, Moon Master. I'll go to the next one now. Before leaving, Zi Chen took out a portion of the heads. Perhaps it was because the Moon Master was kind, but Zi Chen did not leave behind many. However, this so-called not many referred to the overall number. Those in charge of counting the spoils were also quite shocked when they saw so many heads and spoils of war. Seeing Zi Chen leave, a look of admiration appeared on the Moon Master's face. Although I don't know how you were back then, I don't think anyone in this world can do better than you. After that, Zi Chen's family went to the spirit core once. Because they had a spirit core, they could go and come back quickly. As long as he thought that it was a big power, his family would not be free. The spoils he brought this time were constantly decreasing. The last portion was given to the Holy Thunder clan. They had no choice but to agree. He bought these spoils of war at 5 times the price, but sold them at 10 times the price. It seemed that Zi Chen had made a profit of half of it, but in fact, he barely made a loss. This was because there was still the reward for the people in the Lightning Imperial Department, as well as the compensation for the families of those who died in battle. In this kind of matter, Zi Chen would not allow the slightest mistake. This kind of business was also the first time. The major powers were not stupid. They would not let Zi Chen earn a good reputation for nothing. After all, other than money, they would continue to pay in the future. Moreover, this was not what Zi Chen wanted. After all, he could only manage a small area and could not control the entire spiritual realm. Since the major powers had accepted this price, they would replace Zi Chen and become the initiators of the war. The only difference was that Zi Chen was leading the troops, while they stood behind the scenes. However, they had enough resources. Sure enough, not long after, the major sacred clans issued a bounty for the heads of the demon clan. The price was 1 to 7. It was slightly higher than Zi Chen's price. When this news came out, it caused quite a stir. This was the major powers taking action. Even if it was just offering money, it was still better than inaction before. The only difference was that the major powers only cared about the money and the rewards. They did not care about anything else. For example, if one died on the battlefield, they could still receive compensation from Zi Chen. However, the major powers did not have such compensation. In short, this was a good start. It proved that they had made a difference. Now that the demon clan was invading, normal life was difficult to maintain. They could only fight to obtain resources. Thus, one existence after another joined the battlefield and began to fight against the gods and demons. When there were more people, there would naturally be a scale. Thus, one army after another appeared. There were also some powerful loners who called themselves demon hunters or god hunters. They specialized in assassinating the demon clan. The Saint Spirit realm, which had been constantly fleeing and had no fighting power, slowly became active. From fear to resistance, they even took the initiative to attack in the end. The spirit realm's counterattack began. The real war had begun. All of this originated from Zi Chen. Whether or not anyone acknowledged this, Zi Chen, who was treated as a fool by everyone in the future, would be remembered in history. If Zi Chen had not stood up in time, the spirit realm would have been defeated again and again. From fleeing to initiating a counterattack, Zi Chen had not only consumed resources, but also fought 2 battles, one big and one small. Zi Chen is truly worthy of being the reincarnation of a sacred venerate. He was the leader of the spirit realm many years ago. Many years later, even if he is not a sacred venerate, he is still a leader. An old storyteller wearing a white robe changed the topic and said, in just a short year, the spirit realm went from being defeated to counterattacking. Zi Chen's contributions cannot go unnoticed. If not for his leadership, the spirit realm would have been defeated. Perhaps before the enemy sacred venerate appeared, the spirit realm would have fallen. The real war had begun. Whether it was the demon race or the god race, they were all stalled. Thus, the cities that had not fallen became lively again. The storytellers had jobs again, and could tell stories in exchange for wine. Some people spoke the truth, while others spoke the truth. Actually, everyone was tricked by Zi Chen. Even the entire spirit realm was tricked by Zi Chen, a black-robed old storyteller said. A black-robed storyteller said, Zi Chen is far more cunning than the world thinks. These two wars were deliberately arranged by him. In the final war, more than 100,000 demons. How long did they chase them? A full half a year. But they still did not kill them all. They gave the world the false impression that the demons were weak. They thought that they had lost their will to fight and were running away. In fact, this was Zi Chen's scheme. However, the entire spirit realm fell for it and began to fight back. The black-robed old man's business was obviously not good. Because ever since Zi Chen found the demons last time, all the storytellers who had blackened Zi Chen were slapped in the face. Most of them changed careers. After all, storytellers could talk about black and white with just their mouth. Only the black-robed old man in front of him still insisted on telling the other side of Zi Chen. Unfortunately, no one listened. Because the current Zi Chen was the hero of the entire Saint Spirit realm. It was because of him that the Saint Spirit realm began to fight back against the demons. The black-robed old man shook his head and muttered, "Why doesn't anyone believe it? Zi Chen is indeed the hero of the entire spirit realm this time, but he is not as great as the world says. This time, he did play a trick. Why can't you see it? It's not that we can't see it, but that we don't want to see it. Why do we have to distinguish between the truth and the lies so clearly?" After saying that he would break it down next time, the white-robed old man walked over. "Isn't it good now? The entire spirit realm is fighting. If this is a test of life and death for the spirit realm, then the spirit realm can be considered to have completed the test very well this time. Everyone is motivated. The following battles will naturally be much easier to fight." The white-robed old man glanced at the black-robed old man's shriveled bag. "You didn't get anything today, did you?" The black-robed old man said helplessly, "Everyone wants to hear a heroic story of justice." Chapter 4300. Zi Chen looked at the sovereign domain in front of him, or rather, at the planet in front of him. It used to be a saint domain, but after the world changed, it became a sovereign domain. The demons invaded and the sovereign domain was destroyed, and the saint venerables left. The demons destroyed the planet in the sovereign domain, plundering all the resources, and then left this world behind. After half a year of pursuit, all the demons fled here and formed a new line of defense. There used to be more than 100,000 demons, but after being pursued all the way, only a third of them remained. It had to be said that the demons were indeed powerful. Even if they fled pathetically, they still could not kill all of them after half a year of pursuit. One had to know that his people were more than 10 times more than the demons. Now that the demons had retreated, they were going to fight to the death here. In other places, resistance continued to appear. Zi Chen had achieved his goal. Then, there was no need to let these people live. A light of demonic power appeared in front of them, enveloping that world. This was a kind of protection comparable to a sovereign domain. The army surrounded this place, and some people tried to break through the layer of protection, but when their attacks landed on it, they could only cause ripples. They could not break through. Everyone stopped what they were doing and looked at Zi Chen, wondering if he had any ideas. Zi Chen had a lot of ways. He could use their own methods to deal with them, such as asking Saint Venerable Han Jun to come over and restrain this layer of power. But he did not. The demons were against the spirit race, and the demon spirit race against the saint spirit race. The demons did not send out venerables, so they naturally did not use them. Zi Chen took out the scroll and unfolded it. The demon god scroll enlarged in the void like a painting of mountains and rivers. Countless black rays of light fell on the protection below. The protection began to shatter and disintegrate. Everyone, be careful. This was the First World War to counterattack, so Zi Chen needed to remind everyone. After that, he would be the first to enter. No matter what, He would always be the first. The scroll was still in the sky, confronting the wand from a distance. Zichen entered through the gap, and as expected, a large number of attacks whistled toward him. A shield appeared in front of Zichen, blocking all the attacks. His body was slowly retreating under the impact. The others followed closely behind, entering in a single file and attacking the approaching demons. Then, the situation got out of hand, and a chaotic battle broke out. After blocking these attacks, Zichen moved like a bolt of lightning and swept past the demons. As he moved further and further away, the demons fell one after another. Looking at the invading spirit race, Mo Di's face was extremely ugly. Their team belonged to the Vanguard, the first team to come to this world. Their success or failure had an extraordinary significance to the demon race. In the beginning of the battle, they were invincible. But now, they were actually running away, and they had been running for half a year. Not too long ago, he had thought that the spirit race had no future. Because if they continued to run, they would lose their morale. It was like watching others roll a snowball when they were young. Once it started rolling, it would only get bigger and bigger. However, they did not expect Zichen to appear and turn the situation around, causing them to be the ones in a sorry state. Along the way, 2 of the 5 great commanders had already died. Currently, there were only 3 left. Liu Zhen said, "If there is no other way, let's retreat. This is just a big training. As long as we are alive, there is still a future." What he said was true, but if they really went back like this, how could they face their colleagues? Mo Di shook his head and said, "It's impossible to go back. It's impossible. Everyone was dead. Even if they went back, would they be able to survive? I'll stay. You guys go," Liu Zhen said again. The 2 commanders looked at Liu Zhen in surprise. They did not expect him to make such a request at this time. Since coming to the demon realm, Liu Zhen, as a commander of the same status as them, had been going along with them. During this period, he had only taken the initiative to speak up twice. The first time was when he led an army of 10,000 people to confront Zichen, delaying them for half a month. That time was accompanied by great danger. The second time was now. He spoke up again, but this time, not only was it dangerous, but they would also lose their lives. "It's useless for you to stay." Mo Di shook his head again. What he said was true because Liu Zhen's weight was not enough. Even if he went back and took all the blame, it would not be enough. Liu Zhen said in a firm tone, "I still have some life-saving means. If you leave first, I may not die in this battle. And don't forget, I'm also a commander. I have the absolute right to speak." At this time, Mo Di was very touched by Liu Zhen's attitude, but it was still useless. At this time, the commander next to him said, "I'll stay too." "Mo Di, you go." Mo Di looked at the person next to him in surprise. "What do you mean, Menes? Am I, Mo Di, a person who is afraid of death?" Menes said, "There is no one in the demon realm who is afraid of death. It's just that you are more useful to the future if you live. So, you must live. You have to stay alive." Gonis emphasized again, "You have to live. For yourself and for the future of the demon realm." Liu Zhen also nodded and said, "Yes, the demon realm needs you." Mo Di no longer refused. He nodded and then hugged Menes. "Brother, I'm counting on you." Then, he looked at Liu Zhen and cupped his fists. "Thank you. Go. Leave the rest to me." Mo Di waved his hand and collected the wand in the sky. In the next moment, the wand arrived in front of him and disappeared with him. Mo Di left. Out of the 5 commanders, 2 were dead, 1 had left, and 2 were left. The battle was still going on, but because the wand was no longer there, the protection was no longer there. This world was no longer an obstacle for the spirit realm. The astrals all rushed in. At the same time, the demon god painting would fall. At that time, the demon realm would be in an even more difficult situation. Liu Zhen looked at Menes and said, "Sir, if we use the demon seal now, we can still hold on for a while." Menes did not say anything. Instead, he looked at the battlefield. His expression gradually became serious, and there was grief, anger, and pain. Liu Zhen looked at the commander quietly and said, "Sir, if we use the demon seal now, we can still hold on for a while. Our brothers can also kill more astrals." Menes nodded, and all of his grief disappeared in the next moment. He turned around, looked at Liu Zhen, and said, "Then I'll have to trouble you." With that, he took out the demon seal and activated it. Then, his figure disappeared. Gone. Liu Zhen was slightly stunned and did not seem to react. He looked around and saw that there was indeed no one left. He then looked into the distance and saw that the battle was still going on. The astrals had shown an absolute advantage in numbers, so the demon realm had suffered a lot of casualties. The commander had left. He did not leave. Chapter 4301. The battle continued. As the number of spirit race soldiers increased, the number of deaths continued to increase. Liu Zhen didn't make a move. He just stood there. He released his aura so that all the demons could clearly sense his existence. This was a symbol. Even if they were going to die, he wanted them to die with dignity and generosity. "Brothers, although we don't know each other, I'm sorry," Liu Zhen muttered in a low voice. He knew that everyone would die here today. And he was still standing there. In addition to being a symbol for everyone, he was also watching everyone die. Zichen was also fighting and dealing with some troubles. But after entering, his soul power enveloped the surroundings. He saw what happened between the three commanders. They probably thought that he couldn't see it. Zichen's figure descended from the sky and landed in front of Liu Zhen. Liu Zhen looked at Zichen. The symbolic aura that he had released was dissipating bit by bit. "Seeing that you're still holding on, I'll give you a dignified death." Zichen said, "May I ask, how do you want to die?" Liu Zhen's eyes were full of murderous intent. "I want to kill you first before dying." He rushed toward Zichen. He was so close that he was like a shooting star with sparks and lightning. His power was extremely terrifying. Zichen's expression was calm. He slowly stretched out his hand. Lightning surged in his palm and suddenly exploded. With a loud bang, Liu Zhen was sent flying. He fell not far away. After landing, his body didn't move. Such a scene alarmed everyone. Or it could be said that this was deliberately done by Zichen. With the death of the last commander, the demons' morale was gone. But this time, they had no way to escape. So even if they were in despair, they had to fight to the death. Under such circumstances, the demons erupted with unimaginable combat power, causing the spirit race to suffer great losses. But this was a story for later. Zichen stood in place. He didn't look at Liu Zhen again. He looked forward and his gaze began to move. There was a light in his eyes. It was the demon god's eye. Previously, he had sensed Mo Di's departure. However, when the second person left, he did not sense anything at all. Therefore, he guessed that the other party might not have left and had been hiding in the surroundings all along. Zichen didn't know why he was hiding here, but he had to find this guy. Soon, he made a discovery, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He walked forward, and layers of ripples surged out from his body. The space was constantly attacked, and gradually, a barrier appeared. Zichen extended his palm again and placed it on the barrier. In the next moment, the barrier melted like an ice crystal, revealing a black hole. The black hole expanded until one person could enter. Zichen stepped in, and the black hole behind him closed up again. "How is this possible? How did you get in?" When Menes saw Zichen walking in, his face was filled with shock. This defense was the protection of a demonic seal, and it was comparable to a holy venerate. Moreover, it was pure demonic energy, and ordinary people would not be able to discover it at all. However, not only had Zichen discovered it, but he had also entered so easily. How was this possible? Zichen looked ahead. Other than Menes, there were more than 300 people here. Each of them was a powerhouse, and they did not forget to bring them along when they were escaping. They should be Menes's elite private army. You're not a selfish person at all. At least you know how to protect your subordinates. Zichen sneered. Menes still could not believe it. "How did you get in?" Zichen said, "You shouldn't be asking me how I got in. You should be asking me how I should deal with you. You're courting death." I have the demonic seal. What can you do to me? Menes's eyes turned cold. Since he had been discovered, it had become a fact. He was not afraid at all. Because he had the demonic seal, at least he could ensure his own survival. As for the others behind him, if he had to choose one to sacrifice, it would be them. You think you can protect yourself with it? A cold smile appeared at the corner of Zichen's mouth. Zichen, don't you go too far. The demonic seal floated above Mene's head, and its demonic light flickered. Behind him, everyone was ready for a fierce battle. Unfortunately, the fierce battle they wanted did not happen at all. Zichen waved his hand, and another spatial gate opened in front of them. A hint of joy appeared in Mene's eyes. In his opinion, Zichen knew that he was no match for the demonic seal and was about to leave. Then, his expression changed again. Zichen had summoned something. He did not intend to leave. It was a small tree. It did not look very tall, but its roots were very strong and sturdy. It was like a horned dragon that took root in the void. Mens did not understand why Zichen would make such an inconspicuous tree at this time. Could it be that Zichen wanted to give him a gift or to form an alliance with him? He had never seen such a strange tree. Through its aura, it seemed to resonate with him, and his demonic power became active. Could it be a supreme treasure of the demons? Just as some distracting thoughts appeared in his mind, he saw the small tree take root in the void and begin to absorb energy. At the same time, he felt that the power in his body was no longer under his control and began to flow away. This discovery made his expression change drastically. He immediately controlled the demonic seal to protect himself. But it was useless. His power was still flowing away. At this time, cries of alarm came from behind. It was his subordinates who had also encountered the same situation. Zichen looked at Menes in front of him and said, "Didn't you want to know how I got in? It was this tree that helped me open it." Menes was shocked and said, "What kind of tree is this?" The two sides had not fought yet, but his power had already begun to flow away. If this continued, he would become weaker and weaker. How could he fight? One had to know that he could not win, otherwise, he would not have hidden here. Zichen said, "It's called the ancient demon refining jade. Have you heard of it? The ancient demon refining jade that has disappeared for countless years. How is this possible?" Mene's expression changed drastically. Of course, he had heard of the ancient demon refining jade. It was the nemesis of all demons and specialized in devouring demons' power to grow. Up until now, Zichen had collected many demon corpses. Except for the heads that he exchanged for contribution points, the rest were used to cultivate the small tree. This was the first time the ancient demon refining jade had appeared in the world. So far, it seemed to be working well. He was very satisfied. Let's go. Menes no longer had any extravagant hopes. The ancient demon refining jade was too terrifying. If he encountered it, he would die. So, he planned to escape. As soon as he moved, the others also moved and began to flee. But how could they escape? The demon god's painting appeared in the sky, and magic power fell down, forming a new barrier, shrouding all the demon race in it. The demons flew into the sky and began to attack the barrier with all kinds of methods, but it was to no avail. Next, Zichen quietly watched the scene unfold before him. He watched as the demons struggled frantically and watched as their soul power was devoured. They gradually fell into despair before finally dying. The ancient demon refining jade became more transparent and seemed to have grown taller. During this time, the range of its devouring continued to expand. In the end, in Zichen's field of vision, apart from the demon soldiers and the armor, there was only the demon seal left. Chapter 4302. Zichen stepped forward and took the devil seal. This was the most precious treasure of the devil clan. It could fight against holy masters and was very extraordinary. He picked it up and tried to activate it, but to no avail. After putting away the devil seal, Zichen put away the other things that were left behind and walked towards the ancient devil refining jade. The ancient devil refining jade that had devoured many devil clan experts was very docile in front of Zichen. Zichen reopened the space and put it away. Next, Zichen put away the demon god painting and left this world. The battle in the outside world was still going on. The Devil Clan, who were fighting like trapped beasts, had surprisingly strong fighting strength. Moreover, looking at the current situation, they should be able to hold on for a long time. Zichen did not make another move. These hundreds of thousands of troops needed to be tempered by blood and fire. Only then could they become a true army that could fight against the Devil Clan. Therefore, in this battle, the number of people was very serious, but those who could survive were definitely the elites of the elites. The result of the battle was not suspenseful. The army that first invaded the Saint Spirit world was completely annihilated. As the news spread, it brought about a profound impact on the Saint Spirit world. The first batch of Devil Clan was all killed, so how far were the other Devil Clan from death? At the same time, there were also people who had set their eyes on the God Clan that had come to the Spirit world for the first time. After killing them, they could naturally be recorded in the annals of history, and even have a reputation comparable to Zichen. However, how could it be easy to destroy these God Clan experts? After cleaning up this area, Zichen continued to lead the troops forward. His goal was very simple, to drive all the Devil Clan back. If they really could not make it back in time, then they would kill all of them and not leave a single one alive. When Mo Di left alone, he could be considered to be alone, so he had no choice but to return to the entrance. The Devil Clan had their own base camp here, and now, countless Devil Clan had gathered here. Under the leadership of various commanders, they were advancing in various directions. Mo Di's arrival attracted a lot of attention. For a moment, many people looked sideways. When a commander who was gathering troops saw this scene, he laughed sarcastically. "Isn't this the commander, Lord Mo Di? Why are you alone today? I heard that this time, you are leading the advance army of more than 100,000 Devil Clan." Mo Di glanced at him and snorted coldly. That commander suddenly slapped his forehead. "Oh, look at my memory, your men have all died in battle, the entire army has been annihilated, 4 of the original 5 commanders have died, but looking at you today, I can't see any trace of you having participated in the battle. I say, could it be that you, the commander, are running away at the critical moment?" Mo Di pointed at the commander in front of him and said angrily, "Mo Yang Danzua, are you courting death?" Mo Yang Danzua laughed and said, "Aya, I'm so scared. I wonder how Lord Mo Di will kill me. You don't even have a single person left, and I just conscripted 100,000 soldiers." "Humph." Mo Di coldly snorted. Mo Yang Danzua stopped joking around. "All right, you can scram back now. I want to see what kind of punishment you'll receive this time, even if you have a big face and a strong background." Speaking of this, Mo Di's face became gloomy. This time, he was responsible for the complete annihilation of the army, and he would definitely be punished when he returned. However, he was unwilling to leave just like that. He looked at Mo Yang Danzua and said coldly, "Don't be happy too early here. You haven't met Zichen yet. If you do, your people will die even faster." Mo Yang Danzua said, "Oh? Is that so? Unfortunately, I just took over your position, and now I'm going to find Zichen to help you take revenge." Hearing this, Mo Di finally smiled, and he was very happy. Before leaving the spirit world, this was the happiest thing that had happened to him. Before entering the passage, Mo Di said, "The next time I come, I will definitely burn incense for you. If it's possible, I'll bring your body back as well." With that, Mo Di left and returned to the Devil world through the stabilized passage. There was also a camp outside the Devil world. This camp was even larger and had even more people. Other than that, there were also many holy masters guarding this place. Among them, there was Holy Master Mo Wuda. Among the holy venerables of the demonic snake guard, his ranking was one of the highest. In the past, Holy Master Mo Wuda's status was not so high. However, more than 2,000 years ago, the Devil Snake Guard had undergone a great purge due to internal reasons, causing his status to rise by a lot. It was said that that great purge seemed to be related to Mo Chen. Mo Di had not returned yet, but the news had already spread, so there were already several holy masters waiting for Mo Di here. Seeing Mo Di appear, Mo Wuda asked, "Mo Di, where are the others?" The other sacred venerates also looked at Mo Di and waited for his reply, even though they already had an answer in their hearts. Mo Di said in shame, "They all died in battle." A beautiful woman following behind Mo Wuda burst into tears when she heard what Mo Wuda had said. Mo Wuda said, "You saw them die in battle with your own eyes. Although I didn't see it with my own eyes, according to Zichen's style, I believe that no one can survive." Mo Di said sorrowfully, "My colleagues were courting death, and I am responsible for it. When I return, I will describe the process in detail." Mo Wuda nodded and did not say anything else. As for what he was feeling in his heart, only he knew. The other holy masters were the same. Behind Mo Wuda, the woman was very sad, but she tried her best to control herself so that she would not cry out loud. Mo Di glanced at the woman and guessed her identity. He said his condolences to the woman and left. That Zichen caused a mess in the devil race back then. I didn't expect that when he returned to the spiritual realm, he would become a huge threat to our advancement. Damn it, really damn it. A holy master said coldly. He had just lost a junior that he valued greatly. What's the use of saying this now? He's already dead. Mo Wuda waved his hand and said, "Let's go back." Mo Wuda, you're really brave. Your son-in-law is dead, but you're still so calm. The holy master beside him said, "Watch your words. Liu Zhen is only my subordinate, not my son-in-law." Mo Wuda's face had a hint of anger. When the woman behind him heard this, she turned and left. At this moment, there was a sudden cry of surprise. Following that, a group of people returned to the devil realm. The woman who was about to leave heard a familiar voice. "Liu Zhen greets the Lord." The woman stood there motionless as if she had been struck by lightning. "Liu Zhen, is it really you?" Mo Wuda was a little surprised. The woman slowly turned around. During this time, she did not even blink. She was afraid that all of this was an illusion. She saw Liu Zhen. He looked very miserable, and his aura was not that strong. The armor on his body had long been shattered, but he was still alive. His arms and legs were still intact. Chapter 4303. After Liu Zhen appeared, he did not stay for long. Mo Wuda took him back. Then, a holy sage came to ask how Liu Zhen managed to survive. This was because there were rumors that Liu Zhen had been in contact with Zichen many years ago. Of course, this was just a euphemism. They did not directly say that Liu Zhen was a spy. Everything was suppressed by holy sage Mo Wuda. The reason was that Liu Zhen was recuperating. However, the news about the battle had already spread. Apart from some fabrications, most of it came from Liu Zhen's subordinates. It was almost a complete reconstruction of the battle. Mo Wuda blocked everyone outside and didn't see anyone. Only when Mo Di came, he let him see Liu Zhen. Mo Di came to ask about Liu Zhen's recent situation and some details about the battle. "Where's Menes?" Mo Di asked directly. "I'm the one who wants to ask about Lord Menes." "Where's Mens?" Liu Zhen asked. Mo Di was puzzled. "Didn't the two of you stay back?" Speaking of this matter, Liu Zhen bitterly smiled. "To tell you the truth, after you left, Gonis took the demon seal and disappeared. I believe that he left together with you." "What?" Mo Di's expression changed. "There's such a thing." Liu Zhen said, "If the demonic seal had been there to fight against Zichen's painting, our people might have been able to hold on for a while. What a pity." Then, Liu Zhen explained what happened. Finally, he raised a finger and said bitterly, "One move, just one move, and I was completely defeated. Moreover, I was the one who attacked first. If not for my life-saving means, I wouldn't have been able to come back." Mo Di had witnessed Zichen's strength with his own eyes, so he didn't make any comments here. Liu Zhen could be said to be lucky to be able to come back alive. However, what about Menes? If he had chosen to leave, there would be no problem. It was natural to preserve one's strength at a critical moment. For example, Mo Di did not even participate in the final battle. Although there were some criticisms in the demon race, it was not a serious crime. However, Menes' situation was different. He was a deserter, which was a big taboo in the demon race. Even Menes himself would never have thought that Liu Zhen, who should have died the most, was still alive. On the contrary, his whereabouts were unknown, and there was no news about him. What do you think about Menes? Mo Di asked after a moment of silence. Liu Zhen shook his head and said, I don't know. Aside from the sacred master, no one else knows. Even Yi Yang doesn't know. Mo Di's expression changed slightly. What does Holy Senior mean? Liu Zhen said, the Lord asked me to keep it a secret and wait until my injuries are healed. Mo Di nodded. That's good too. Heal your wounds first. There have been some rumors recently. Don't mind them. The Lord is right. Let's talk about it after everything has recovered. Got it. Liu Zhen watched as Mo Di left. He did not go out to send him off. After Mo Di left, an inexplicable smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. If he had been the one to run away, he might have died dozens of times already. Back then, when Modi had left, he had called Menes his good brother. However, he would never have imagined that Menes would run away at the last moment. But even so, Mo Di still had to protect him at this moment. In fact, there was even a hint of threat in his last sentence. He had escaped death and returned from the battlefield, but he was suspected and threatened. The other one had run away at the last moment and had obviously committed a great taboo, but now, someone was protecting him. It had to be said that this was very ironic. A woman walked into the room and looked at Liu Zhen. There was a hint of regret in her eyes. She sat beside Liu Zhen and gently held his hand. She said, why do you have to do this? Liu Zhen slowly shook his head. I'm sorry. Yi Yang said, even if you and I get married, you don't have to change your surname. I believe that one day, you will be able to rely on your own efforts to become a true sacred master. Liu Zhen turned around and looked at the beautiful woman in front of him. Actually, you have more choices. She was Mo Wuda's daughter, his only daughter. She had always been the pearl of the devil world. The line of handsome men who liked her had been very long. She had many choices, many suitable choices. But she had chosen the most inappropriate one. A different surname. Yi Yang gently leaned on Liu Zhen's shoulder and smiled happily. I think this is the best choice. I like this. Yes, this is how it is. Do you know, after hearing the news, I was really scared. I was really scared that you would never come back. Liu Zhen hugged Yi Yang and said softly, don't worry, I will live. Now, in the future, and forever. Everyone can talk big, but how many can really do it? A dignified voice sounded from the door. Mo Wuda walked in. Yi Yang stood up and called out, Dad. Liu Zhen cupped his fist and greeted him. Mo Wuda nodded and stood there looking at Liu Zhen. Mo Yi Yang knew that the two of them had something to discuss, so she tactfully left. Mo Wuda sat opposite Liu Zhen. Then, he gently waved his hand and a surge of sacred master power appeared, isolating the room. Then, Mo Wuda continued waving his hand and Liu Zhen sat down. How do you feel about your trip to the spiritual realm? Mo Wuda asked. The coldness in his voice lessened. Not bad. Liu Zhen said. Mo Wuda smiled. You call groveling all the way not bad? Liu Zhen was silent for a moment. Then, he said, at least, I'm still alive. Do you know why all of this happened? Mo Wuda looked at Liu Zhen. In terms of realms, you are the same. In terms of combat power, you are even stronger than them. However, among the five of you, your status is the lowest. This time, you returned from the battlefield with a narrow escape, but you are suspected. On the other hand, Menes, who is afraid of death and ran away, is protected everywhere. Why? Liu Zhen took a deep breath and calmed himself down. Because my surname is Liu. Yes, it was because his surname was Liu and his name was Liu Zhen. That was why he had all these. If he was Mo Wuda, it would be a different situation. In the demon race, the strong were respected. Wrong. It was the surname that was respected. If there was no surname, then the sacred master was respected. If there was neither, then he had to lower his head, just like Liu Zhen's performance. Sometimes, Liu Zhen admired Zi Chen. After coming here, he dared to casually call himself Mo Chen. He did not know the true meaning of this surname in the demon race. Mo Wuda looked at Liu Zhen. Since you know, Are you still going to persist? Chapter 4304. Following Mo Wuda, Liu Zhen had many choices. Sometimes it was about himself, and sometimes it was the Lord who gave him the choice. There was only one incident that left a deep impression on him. This was the second time. Both times, it was the same question. Last time, Liu Zhen chose to reject, but this time, Liu Zhen hesitated. Mo Wuda said, "Without the Mo surname, you will be restricted everywhere. Why don't you make it easier for yourself?" Liu Zhen was silent. "I know what you are thinking. You are from the Spirit Clan, and you have always wanted them to live a better life. This is not wrong. This time, when the Spirit Realm opens, there is also a Saint Devil region in that area, right? Moreover, in the Devil Realm, there are many families that were converted from the Spirit Clan to the Devil Clan." Mo Wuda said, "Whether you are from the Spirit Clan or the Devil Clan, it has nothing to do with what you want to do. How can a surname control you? Can't you do things for the Spirit Clan because your surname is Mo?" Liu Zhen knew his current situation, but it was still difficult for him to give up. After all, this was the only thing he had left about the Spirit Clan. Mo Wuda said, "This time, if I hadn't secretly helped you get rid of some of your tails, they would have been able to use this incident as an excuse to find out what you've done that went against the interests of the demon race. If you continue, there will be many similar things in the future. Can you guarantee that you will be lucky every time and not be found out?" Liu Zhen, who was hesitating, finally nodded and made the choice. Seeing Liu Zhen nodding, Mo Wuda was not too happy. Instead, he said, "You have to think about it carefully. If you really do this, it will be beneficial for you now, but it will be impossible for you to return in the future." Liu Zhen said, "I grew up here, and this is my home." Mo Wuda nodded in the end. Soon, a shocking news spread. Mo Wuda's only daughter, Mo Ian, was going to marry Liu Zhen. Perhaps in the entire Devil Realm, this was not a big deal, but in the Devil Snake Guards, it was enough to cause a sensation. From now on, there was no more Commander Liu Zhen, but a commander called Mo Ian. Mo was the surname of the Devil Realm, Yi was the surname of Mo Ian, and Zhen was his original name. This situation was not uncommon in the Devil Realm. This was marrying into one's family. He gave up his surname forever and became a member of the Mo Wuda clan. Although this surname was not very glorious, it was still the surname of Mo. It was the surname of Mo that everyone had to respect. No matter what they thought in their hearts, in front of Mo Yixian, at least no one dared to mention this matter. Because the great battle was still ongoing, all the weddings were held in a bit of a hurry. However, those who should have come all came. Among them, there were many commanders and vice-commanders who had not yet entered the battlefield. They all came to offer their congratulations. If one were to talk about Mo Yixian, it was definitely a part of the history of the demon race's struggle. In the past, the demon race only possessed a trace of bloodline aura. However, through their continuous efforts, they slowly gained a foothold in the demon snake guard and achieved their current achievements. Among the devil snake guards, only Mo Yixian had such achievements. Although many people felt that the surname of Mo was not glorious, it still could not hide the glory that he had created. Compared to those who were born with the surname of Mo, Mo Yixian's struggle history could be said to be brilliant beyond compare. On the day of the wedding, Mo Di also came to congratulate Mo Yixian as a comrade. At the same time, Mo Di also announced some of the deeds of the other three commanders in a high-profile manner. There was still no news of Mo Nisai. It could be said that he had generously sacrificed himself. The truth was covered up just like that. As for the price that Mo Nisai's family had paid for this, no one knew. After the wedding, Mo Yixian did not have time to enjoy the couple's time and entered the battlefield again. Mo Di also went. His failure last time had left him brooding. This time, after calming down all the rumors, he decided to go to the battlefield to regain his face. He did not look for trouble with anyone but Zi Chen. He wanted to kill Zi Chen. Not only did his idea receive the approval of Mo Yixian, but also the unanimous agreement of the demon race. If they could kill Zi Chen at this time, it would be a great achievement. Therefore, in order to support Mo Di, the demon race had paid quite a price this time. Returning to the battlefield of the spirit realm, looking at the army of Demon Clan, Mo Yi asked with a trembling voice, "How should we start?" A smile appeared on the corner of Mo Di's mouth. "There is a ready-made bait that can be used, let's go find him directly." Mo Di thought of a very suitable candidate, Mo Yang Danzue. Last time, when he returned, that fellow had spoken rudely, causing him to be very disgusted. This time, he had regained his great power, so it was necessary for him to get back at him. Furthermore, his men were currently at war with Zichen. If they wanted to deal with Zichen, they would naturally have to find Mo Yang Danzue. Mo Di explained his plan. Mo Yi nodded his head and said, "It sounds feasible." Mo Di laughed. "This time, we have the absolute advantage, the possibility of success is very high, but you have to step in, because if I go, Mo Yang Danzue will definitely be suspicious." "No problem, leave it to me," Mo Yi said with a trembling voice. "Since that's the case, I'll go over first. You bring your men and follow me." "All right." After Mo Yi left, the smile on Mo Di's face gradually disappeared. "Who do you think you are? You think you have a high status just because you have the Mo surname? Why don't you take a look at how you got this surname?" Just as Mo Wuda had said, as long as Liu Zhen had the Mo surname, he would no longer have any shortcomings. No matter what people said behind him, in front of others, everyone would have to be respectful to him. After making up for his last shortcoming, Mo Yi's position in the Demon Snake Guards rose. At this moment, everyone could finally take his battle strength and the purity of his demon chi seriously. It sounded ridiculous, but it was the truth. Mo Yi took the latest battle report and headed towards Mo Yang Danzue's team. Ever since he came into contact with Zichen's team, Mo Yang Danzue had been retreating, and had not won a single battle. Of course, he was not destroyed by Zichen. After glancing at the battle report, Mo Yi, who knew Zichen very well, guessed Zichen's intentions. Zichen was using him to train his troops. At the very least, he would have to nibble away at his men for a period of time. Once these people lost their value, they would be eaten by Zichen in one go. Mo Yi stepped onto the flying boat and went to find Mo Yang Danzue. It had to be said that there were indeed a lot of good things in the Saint Spirit world. For example, this kind of flying boat was something that the demon world never had. Of course, this was also because the demon world was too small and could not be compared to the vast spirit world. This world was endless. Moreover, controlling these flying boats was very simple. He only needed to use the energy crystals of the spirit world. Chapter 4305. What Mo Yi Zhen? I've never heard of him. Tell him not to bother me. Hearing his subordinate's report, Mo Yang Danzue waved his hand impatiently. His subordinate did not leave. Instead, he whispered into his ear, "Reporting to my lord, Mo Yi Zhen is that commander, Liu Zhen." "Oh." Mo Yang Danzue's expression changed slightly. Didn't he die in battle? Why did he change his name? Not many people knew about Mo Yi Zhen, but Liu Zhen was quite famous among the Devil Snake Guards. The only pity was that he did not have the surname Mo. Now, it seemed that he did. Mo Yang Danzue suddenly thought of the rumor about Liu Zhen, and his expression changed as he said, "Let him in." The subordinate left, and Mo Yi Zhen quickly walked in. A smile appeared on Mo Yang Danzue's face. "I was wondering which lord had come to visit. So it's brother Liu. Why are you here?" Before Mo Yi Zhen could reply, Mo Yang Danzue slapped his forehead and said, "I forgot, it should be brother Mo Yi. I haven't congratulated you on obtaining the surname Mo. Everyone says that you, Mo Yang Danzue, speak sarcastically. Today, I see that you live up to your reputation." Mo Yi Zhen smiled and said, "You don't have any objections to me. The matters of your Mo Yang clan back then had nothing to do with me. At most, I was working for someone else. Ian, you can also treat me as a lackey." The smile on Mo Yang Danzue's face disappeared as he said, "Although you and I are both Devil Snake Guards, we have always minded our own business. Why are you here today? Could it be that something has happened? I came to give you a big gift. I just don't know if you dare to accept it." Mo Yi Zhen said. "How could you be so kind?" Mo Yang Danzue's eyes were filled with doubt. It was obvious that he did not believe him. "I survived a great calamity and came to the battlefield this time." "What do you think it's for?" Mo Yi asked. "Zichen, Mo Yangdan's eyes were filled with vigilance. Don't be so nervous. My goal is to kill Zichen, and you want the battle achievements after Zichen's death. There's no conflict. Mo Yizhen smiled and said, how about it? Are you interested in cooperating? How are we going to cooperate? Pull you over to be my hired thug? Mo Yangdan's sneered, or rather, you came here alone today. No matter how bad my team is, you won't be missing, right? Mo Yi said in a trembling voice that only the other party could hear. Devil Yangdan's expression immediately changed. Really? How could it be fake? This time, in order to kill Zichen, we have made ample preparations. Mo Yi said with a trembling voice, how about it? Are you interested? Mo Yangdan's was naturally interested. However, Zichen's battle prowess was extremely strong. Even if he was fully prepared, how was he supposed to kill him? I need to borrow your men. What's the use of him? Mo Yi said with a trembling voice, through that information, I have some understanding of Zichen. This person must be very conceited, so after seeing me appear, he will definitely be furious. Therefore, I want to lure him out. The reason why I didn't go over was because one person was too obvious. He definitely wouldn't fall for it. This was very easy to understand. Mo Yangdan's could understand that the only thing he needed to pay attention to now was who would get the merit points after killing Zichen. This was what Mo Yangdan's cared about the most. Mo Yi said with a trembling voice, we only wish to see Zichen die. As for the final contribution, it doesn't matter. Because we are not on the same path, we just happened to cooperate with each other. As for the final contribution, you will naturally find your lord to receive it, and we will find our own. Understood, you can use my men as you wish. Mo Yangdan's readily agreed. Thus, Mo Yizhen stayed here, waiting for news from Mo Di. Mo Di was very efficient, or rather, he had already gathered enough people when he came. And this time, Mo Di was the absolute leader. As for Mo Yizhen, he was at most a vice commander. Thus, after everything was arranged, Mo Yizhen brought Mo Yangdan's men to challenge Zichen. Actually, there was no need to deliberately look for him, because Zichen's team had been advancing at a leisurely pace. After such a long period of development, the size of the team behind him had already exceeded 1 million. Mo Yizhen looked at Zichen's team from afar and shouted, idiots of the Spirit Clan, do you still remember me? That's right, I am your lord Mo Yizhen. You didn't expect me to still be alive, did you? Tell Zichen to scram out here, I want to talk to him. Curses immediately came from the Spirit Clan army in front of him. However, these voices quickly disappeared, and Zichen walked over from behind. When he saw Mo Yizhen, a look of surprise appeared on his face. You're not dead. HMPH, what do you think? With your little strength, you want to kill me, Mo Yizhen? Mo Yizhen said proudly, why don't you take a look at who you are? Zichen was startled again. Mo Yizhen, you were called Liu Zhen last time, but this time, you actually have the surname Mo. It seems that the demon clan thinks highly of you. Changing the topic, Zichen continued, however, the demon clan even wants someone like you who can't even withstand a single blow. It seems like there aren't many people left in the demon clan. Why are you the only one here today? Did that guy who ran away without a fight come with you? I remember that he was called Mo Di, right? I have to say, the way he ran away was really special. He actually ran away with his magic staff in his crotch. Haha. As soon as Zichen finished speaking, laughter suddenly came from behind Mo Yizhen. It was Mo Yangdan's laughter, because he couldn't hold it in. He knew that Mo Di had brought a treasure with him last time, and in the end, he had used it to escape. Mo Yizhen looked at Mo Yangdan's who quickly said, a mistake, I couldn't hold it in. Continue, haha. Thinking of that action, Mo Yangdan's laughed again. Mo Yizhen also smiled slightly. It seemed that this leader and Mo Di were not on good terms at all. He continued, cut the crap. If you have the ability, come over and see who will kill who today. Let me tell you, in our demon clan, every existence with the surname Mo is not to be trifled with. Is that so? Zichen laughed sarcastically, then let me see what kind of methods you have. He waved his hand, his eyes surging with boundless killing intent. Kill, don't leave a single one alive. The army behind him rushed forward with an imposing aura. Zichen understood the other party's meaning from Liu Zhen's words, so this time, he would send out his troops with all his might, and not leave a single one alive. The two armies met and began a large-scale war. However, right after the battle began, the demon clan began to retreat step by step. Zichen looked at the demon clan who was deliberately retreating, and a smile appeared on his face. Interesting. Chapter 4306. Under Zichen's pursuit, the demon clan was defeated again and again, retreating again and again, suffering great losses. In his field of vision, an army of over 1 million spread out, like an endless black painting, slowly moving. Light continued to shine, indicating that they were fighting. Zichen looked into the distance. Mo Yizhen did not make a move from the beginning, and after the provocation, he kept retreating. His provocation this time was so obvious. Zichen followed without hesitation. They were all brought here by Zichen from the Sky Martial continent, and had killed their way here. Now that Zichen wanted to go in alone, they naturally had to follow. Zichen shook his head and said, "No need, you guys stay here and continue to fight. Be careful of these demon clan's tricks, I will come back after killing their leader." The few of them were a little worried, but when they thought about Zichen's current fighting strength, they did not say anything more. The passage was still unstable, and even the holy masters of the demon clan were unable to come over. Zichen was invincible in this world. These people dispersed and continued to fight. Zichen went deeper in alone. Zichen followed the fleeing people at a leisurely pace. In front of his field of vision, a planet appeared. Looking at the planet, Zichen's face had a strange expression, because he felt that it was a little strange. He had never been to this place before, so he did not know what this world used to be called. However, since all the demon clan were fleeing towards that world, it meant that their ambush was on that planet. Mo Yizhen came outside of the planet, and looked at Zichen who had suddenly stopped, his eyes gradually turned cold. On the other hand, Mo Yangdan's face had a hint of worry. What if Zichen did not fall for it? Just at this moment, Mo Yizhen suddenly made a throat-slitting gesture towards Zichen, and said coldly, "Do you dare to fight me to the death?" Zichen smiled faintly. "Although I don't know how many reinforcements you have prepared here, since you are courting death, I will fulfill your wish." Zichen caught up with him. A trace of a smile appeared on Mo Yangdan's face. As long as Zichen entered, he would definitely die. To him, this was a great achievement. After entering this world and sensing the dense mana, Devil Yangshan's confidence grew. "This is for you. When you are in a life or death situation, open it and take a look." Mo Yi gave Mo Yangdan's a brocade pouch and said solemnly, "Remember, this is the most dangerous time." Mo Yangdan's nodded and took it. He didn't ask anything and solemnly put it away. The two of them flew forward. Below them, there were only tall trees. There was no city, and no one could tell that it had been inhabited before. "Let your people take over first," Mo Yi said with a trembling voice. At this moment, Zichen had just arrived in this world. Devil Yangdan's immediately gave the signal, and black figures flew out from below, heading towards Zichen. These were all experts, but in this place, they were just cannon fodder. They were here to die, and their goal was to exhaust Zichen's strength. The greater the casualties, the greater the final harvest. Mo Yangdan's knew that even if all the troops he brought with him died this time, as long as he successfully killed Zichen, the final reward he would receive would only be even more generous. Zichen looked at the world below, and felt every blade of grass and every tree in this world. A hint of surprise gradually appeared in his eyes, and he smiled. "I didn't expect you to make such a big move this time. You actually moved the world of the demon clan here. What, do you think doing this will give you some confidence?" As for the cannon fodder that rushed up, he didn't even look at them. Until the cannon fodder surrounded him in a circle, and from the looks of it, they were going to use some kind of array formation. Zichen's body suddenly disappeared. In the next moment, he turned into a bolt of lightning and circled around the group of people inside the formation. The light disappeared, and Zi Chen returned to his original position. His gaze was still looking into the distance, and he said, "Since you guys are so well prepared, I naturally have to be more serious." The auras around these cannon fodder dissipated, and their bodies fell one after another. Once Zi Chen became serious, they would all die. Buzz! The sky suddenly trembled, and a magic staff appeared out of thin air, releasing a light that enveloped the entire world. When Mo Yang Danzwe saw this scene in the distance, his expression couldn't help but change. The joy from before completely disappeared. "It's Mo Di's magic staff. You even found Mo Di." Mo Yang Danzwe stared at Mo Yi, his eyes cold. "You idiot, it wasn't him who found me, it was me who found you." Mo Di's laughter rang out, and he walked out from the shadows. "You idiot, you didn't even ask about what happened in the demon realm, and only knew how to run. You really are stupid to the extreme. You're courting death." Mo Yang Danzwe said angrily. "With the current you think you can kill me?" Mo Di glanced at Mo Yang Danzwe, and said disdainfully, "Right now, you should obediently stand there and pray for my plan to succeed. Maybe in the end, I can even give you a mouthful of soup to drink. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite." "Mo Yi, what's going on?" Mo Yang Danzwe stared at Mo Yi and asked. Mo Yi's trembling face was filled with shame. "It's very simple. I'll use you as bait." Mo Di laughed. "How is it? My plan isn't bad, right?" Looking at the proud Mo Di, Mo Yang Danzwe was so angry that he wanted to kill someone. Good you Mo Di, just you wait. When I get out, I'll definitely not let you off. If I don't kill you, Before Mo Yang Danzwe could finish his words, Mo Yi's trembling voice sounded in his mind, "Are you courting death? Threatening him now, aren't you afraid that he'll kill you here?" Only then did Mo Yang Danzwe react and immediately shut his mouth. The current situation was very disadvantageous to him. He glared fiercely at Mo Yi. He had actually been tricked by the other party. "Idiot, I'll let you live for a while." Mo Di no longer paid attention to Mo Yang Danzwe, and turned to look at Zi Chen. "How do you want to die today?" Zi Chen did not answer, but asked instead, "Are you guys done quarreling?" He said regretfully, "I thought you two would definitely have to fight to the death first." Mo Di coldly snorted, "Don't try to sow discord." Zi Chen said, "You clearly have killing intent in your heart, but you don't dare to admit it. What, are you waiting to kill me before killing that stupid guy?" Zi Chen's voice was not suppressed, so Mo Yang Danzwe could hear it clearly. Of course, his expression was ugly. "It seems that you are indeed smarter than him. However, if you think that you can kill me like this, then you are too naive." Chapter 4307. Seeing Zi Chen's actions, Mo Di laughed out loud. "I thought you still had some tricks up your sleeves, but I didn't expect it to be such an old thing." Mo Di said in disdain, "How many times have I told you? This painting belongs to my demon clan, it can't even unleash its full power in your hands." After pausing for a moment, Mo Di continued, "Furthermore, since I've seen your methods, do you think we won't be on guard?" As soon as he finished speaking, a demonic blade appeared from another direction. The demonic blade released the supreme power. The supreme power was very clear and obvious, as if a holy master was standing there. After seeing the blade, Mo Yang Danzwe's expression couldn't help but change as he cried out involuntarily, "This is that venerable king blade." Mo Yi was also shocked. He only knew that Mo Di had prepared a backup plan, but he wasn't sure what it was exactly. At this moment, when he saw the chi of the venerable king blade, he was a little shocked. However, after sensing it carefully, he realized that it was not pure. It was not the famous venerable king blade, but an imitation. Feeling the supreme power, Zi Chen's expression did not change much, and said indifferently, "To transport such a weapon over, you must have paid quite a price, right?" Mo Di said, "The price is indeed not small. Because of this plan, the passage that was about to stabilize has once again become chaotic. At the very least, the Holy Master will have to delay his arrival for several hundred years." Zi Chen said, "Just to kill me, is it worth it?" "I don't think it's worth it, but the Holy Masters think it's worth it. Not to mention a few hundred years, even if it's 1,000 years, it's still worth it." In the sky, the magic blade and magic staff released their auras at the same time, suppressing Zichen. The originally bright world gradually darkened, as if a storm was about to arrive. Zichen felt the powerful oppressive aura, so he activated the painting. The painting unfolded above Zichen's head, as if a real mountain and river had appeared in the sky. Whether it was the magic blade or the magic staff, they were all blocked outside. "Look, you still can't do anything to me," Zichen said with some regret. Mo Di looked at Zichen as if he was looking at an idiot. "Do you think that this thing can delay the invasion of the Saint Masters of the demon race by hundreds of years?" After saying that, another magic fan flew up from another place, followed by an ancient magic lamp. 4 demonic artifacts appeared in 4 different directions, releasing powerful auras at the same time, trying to suppress the demonic god painting. Mo Yang Danzue was very shocked, because the remaining 2 weapons also had extraordinary origins. They were extremely famous in the devil world, and they were actually brought out by Mo Di. Mo Yi trembled as he looked at the 4 demon weapons and said, "They are not real weapons, they were just temporarily refined. However, with the support of the supreme power, their power is extraordinary." At this moment, he was a little worried. "That's it." Zichen's expression remained calm as he quietly looked at the 4 demon weapons. The devil race had specially brought them here. They were indeed terrifying, but he was not afraid. If it was the god race who schemed against him this time, he would not have come alone, because he did not know much about the god race, but the devil race was different. Zichen had the demonic god painting on him, and at the same time, he had been to the devil world once, so he had a better understanding of the devil race. The 4 demon weapons attacked at the same time, and Zichen also controlled the painting to block. It was not easy, but he could still block it. Mo Di's eyes lit up, and he had a deeper understanding of the demonic god painting. Who was Zichen? He was from the spirit clan. A spirit clan using the demonic god painting could have such power, able to block the 4 great demon weapons. What if he used it instead? Wouldn't the power increase by a level? Could it instantly suppress the 4 great demon weapons? What if it was used by the saint? Wouldn't it be comparable to the resurrection of the demon god? The reason why Mo Di was so excited was because the higher-ups had already made a promise to him. This time, when they surrounded and killed Zichen, his family had contributed a lot, so after Zichen died, his family would obtain the demonic god painting. Seeing that the 4 great demon weapons were evenly matched with the painting, not only was Mo Di not disappointed, he was even very excited. This time, Zichen was arrogant and came to this place alone. After the 4 great demon weapons came out, this world from the demon clan would be isolated from everything. As for Zichen's teams, even if they came over now, they would not be able to find this place. Therefore, this place had already become a dangerous place. They wanted to kill Zichen in this dangerous place. Mo Di retreated, his eyes cold. In the distance, Mo Yang was still in shock, and was speechless for a long time. These 4 great demon weapons made him understand Mo Di's determination, and in this situation, Mo Di really dared to kill anyone. He was not afraid of Mo Di, but he was also aware of the situation. Otherwise, it would really be like what Mo Yi had said, his death would be in vain. Rays of light flew out from below, each of them at the 9-star realm. These were the private troops of the Mo Di family. Perhaps their status was different from the demon snake guards, but each of them was an elite. They acted as cannon fodder, the first wave to fight. Of course, it could also be said that they were sending themselves to their deaths. Mo Di's face was cold as he quietly watched this scene from afar. One of the 9-star holy spirits that were charging forward suddenly ignited with flames. The raging devil flames burned fiercely, and his aura became even stronger. Zichen's expression changed. Mo Di said indifferently, "Even if my men are cannon fodder, they are still heroic cannon fodder." A light flashed in front of Zichen, and a black shield appeared, blocking in front of him. The shield immediately enlarged, and ancient patterns lingered on its surface. He chose to defend. The 9-star holy spirit that had ignited his life crashed into the light shield. Boom! A powerful force shook, and Zichen's figure retreated. On the light shield in front of him, countless ripples were stirred up. After the attack, the 9-star holy spirit's aura paused, but it did not disappear, and continued to charge forward. It did not try to change its direction, and still charged in a straight line. With a second boom, Zichen retreated again. Die! A cold voice sounded from not far away, and it was the second demon who had launched an attack. He did not ignite his life, but formed a seal to attack. In the sky, black light surged, and then black flying swords descended from the sky, attacking Zichen. It was like a rain of light. Zichen looked up at this scene, and could only raise the light shield to continue blocking. But at this moment, the 9-star Holy Spirit that had ignited his life attacked for the third time. Zichen frowned slightly, and then a light flashed above his head, and another shield appeared. These two shields came from the Holy Talisman realm, and their quality was extremely high. One shield blocked the sky full of attacks, and the second shield blocked the third attack of the 9-star Holy Spirit that had ignited his life. Boom! A powerful force shook, and Zichen continued to retreat. 3 attacks was the limit of the 9-star Holy Spirit. In fact, he could have attacked a dozen or even dozens of times, but the power would be weaker. With the death of the 9-star Holy Spirit, the second 9-star Holy Spirit took its place. Chapter 4308. Mo Yang Danzwe looked at the battle in the sky, his eyes full of shock. Zichen's strength was obvious to all, so he had been wondering if he could kill Zichen this time. But after Mo Di used one method after another, he gradually believed it. Even the cannon fodders that were sent to their deaths were so orderly and well trained. He believed that Zichen would not be able to survive this time. This existence who had created countless miracles in the spiritual realm might really die here today. Boom, 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 boom. Powerful energy fluctuations surged, and all kinds of attacks appeared in the sky. Some burned their life force, some used spells from afar, some assassins who were good at hiding, there were blade lights, sword shadows, demons. Zichen was surrounded by 2 light shields, blocking all the attacks. From the beginning to the end, he had been defending and hadn't taken the initiative to attack. It had to be said that these people were well prepared, and their combat strength was extraordinarily strong. Since the battle with the demons, this should be the most passive Zichen had ever been. As expected of the first person. Not only does he have the demon god painting, but all the equipment on him is also extraordinary. Mo Yang Danzwe, who stood in the distance and didn't participate in the battle, sighed. With such a detailed plan, Zichen would definitely die today, so looking at the other party, he was very emotional. If it were an ordinary Spirit Clan member, who knew how many times they would have died. Compared to the demons, the Spirit Clan's individual combat strength was much weaker. He didn't expect Zichen to be so strong. Mo Yizhen didn't say a word as he quietly watched the battle. Zichen's 2 light shields had an extraordinarily strong defense. Amidst the continuous explosions of energy, the luster of Zichen's 2 guardian shields dimmed significantly. Mo Di said, "That's enough." When the 9-star Saint Spirit who had been attacking Zichen from afar heard the voice, a flying sword appeared in his hand. The flying sword was only the size of an ordinary dagger. He made a gesture with one hand and said, "Go." Like a bolt of black lightning, it suddenly appeared, instantly passing through the barrier of space and came to Zichen's side. Then, it avoided the light shield and stabbed Zichen's head. This was an opportunity that the other party had been deliberately waiting for in order to kill him in one strike. Clang! A black staff suddenly appeared and blocked in front of Zichen, knocking the small sword back. Zichen expressionlessly controlled the 3 weapons, 2 for defense and 1 for attack. After the small sword was sent flying, it returned to the side of the 9-star demon. The light on the surface of the small sword became very dim. The 9-star Saint Spirit had no time to feel sorry for it. He could only look for another opportunity. But this time, it wasn't all for nothing. At the very least, it forced Zichen to use his 3rd weapon. Mo Di sneered, "There are still quite a few good things, but I want to see how many more of them you have." At this moment, another sharp aura appeared behind Zichen. It was a weapon similar to a flying sword, and it headed straight for Zichen. It was still Zichen's opening in defense, and the timing was very precise. Zichen's expression didn't change. The 2 light shields operated on their own, and the staff in his hand quickly changed direction, smashing towards the attack. At this moment, the small sword that had just been sent flying also came, appearing behind Zi Chen. Under such a pincer attack, Zi Chen used his fourth weapon, which was the simple spear. Clang! The two attacks were sent flying one after another. After the small sword flew out, it exploded. Obviously, it wasn't a strong weapon that could be used for a long time. Two shields, a staff, and a spear. These were the weapons that Zi Chen had taken out for defense. It could be seen that his situation wasn't good. In addition, the picture scrolls in the sky were still fighting, and they needed to consume Zi Chen's strength. Since Mo Di had escaped last time, he had made full preparations this time. He didn't even give Zi Chen a chance to make a comeback. Just from the looks of it, Zi Chen already had no chance of survival, even if Zi Chen's performance was still calm and steady. But he still had to die. Mo Yi trembled as he watched the battle quietly. There was no need for him to make a move, and Mo Di didn't let him make a move either. His expression was calm, but what about his heart? Zi Chen had come here because of his trust in him. However, Mo Di's methods were truly unexpected. Mo Yang Dan's were suddenly asked, "Mo Yi, do you think I can get this great merit?" This was a sound transmission. Mo Yi didn't answer and remained silent. But this seemed to be an answer. Mo Yang Dan's were said, "I understand." Next, he quietly watched the battle. More and more attacks appeared. Zi Chen's defense was no longer watertight. Most importantly, facing countless attacks, Zi Chen's power soldier was about to be unable to hold on. During this period of time, the demon clan had already used up too much manpower and resources. Just the 9-star holy spirits alone had already died. 5 of the small weapons had already been used up. Furthermore, there were still people attacking, burning their strength without any regard for their lives. There were also similar terrifying weapons that seemed to be endless. The luster on Zi Chen's companion spirit shield was constantly fading, and some fine cracks appeared on it. If Zi Chen put it away now and took it back to refine it again, it could still be repaired. Unfortunately, he didn't have the time. With a loud bang, a powerful force shook. The companion spirit shield that Zi Chen had snatched back then exploded. A high-quality weapon was destroyed just like that. Then, the black rod that Zi Chen was constantly attacking next to him, which was also within 100 soldiers of the sacred weapon mountain back then, was now in imminent danger. In the end, it also exploded with a loud bang and shattered. The spear and the ancient shield were still holding on. Their quality was very extraordinary, but in the face of such a powerful attack, who knew how long they could last? Moreover, this was the strongest weapon that Zi Chen currently had. Zi Chen's Hall and Soul Hall were both in the Tianwu world. The painting scroll was pinned down, and this was the only thing left. Mo Di, who had been watching the battle indifferently, suddenly said after seeing Zi Chen's 2 weapons being destroyed, "It's done." In the sky, the 4 powerful demon weapons suddenly released threads of light. They were like countless tentacles, heading towards the painting scroll. The painting scroll was wrapped in layers, looking like it was bound by countless spider silk. They didn't even wait for Zi Chen to die and wanted to snatch the painting scroll. Once the painting scroll was lost, Zi Chen would definitely die. It had to be said that this was a huge move. Mo Yi trembled and was somewhat desperate. Mo Yang Dan's was also in despair. When Zi Chen died, he should be the second. Perhaps Mo Yi Yang would be the third. It was also at this moment that Zi Chen's voice suddenly sounded. "If you had said that they were your backup, I wouldn't have to waste so much effort. Go ahead and snatch them." Chapter 4309. After withdrawing the energy that was controlling the scroll, Zi Chen pointed at the space between his eyebrows. As the finger fell, several streaks of soul light scattered in all directions and attacked in several directions. This was Zi Chen's first counterattack after being besieged. As these streaks of soul light approached, a layer of protection appeared on the bodies of those 9-star holy spirits. It was obvious that everyone was prepared. The streaks of soul light were blocked and were dissipating. Zi Chen's body disappeared from where he was. The streaks of soul light that scattered in all directions were not a killing move. It was enough as long as they could help him delay for a moment. His body seemed to have teleported, and in an instant, he was in front of a demon. Close at hand, the spear was like lightning and instantly pierced into the chest of the other party. Then, Zichen's body disappeared again. He appeared in another direction and drew a line in the sky. A straight line appeared between heaven and earth, as if the rules of this world had divided the whole world into two. An obvious black line was drawn forward. The 3 9-star Holy Spirits could not dodge in time. Their bodies were divided into two, and their souls were annihilated. Mo Di saw Zichen's counterattack, but he did not stop it. At this moment, he was wholeheartedly snatching the scroll. As long as the scroll was taken away, Zichen would die without a doubt. However, even without Zichen's control, the scroll was still strong. In the face of the erosion of the 4 types of demonic power, it seemed indifferent. Below, Zichen, who was counterattacking, seemed to be slaughtering. One by one, the 9-star Holy Spirits fell. At the same time, Spectre, who had been enduring for a long time, also appeared out of thin air and swallowed a 9-star Holy Spirit in one gulp. In this place, under the rules of this world, it was like a fish in water. After Zichen returned from the Devil Realm last time, he brought with him a lot of demonic power. Almost all of it was devoured by Spectre. More than 2,000 years had passed, and Spectre had also grown. Now, it could easily devour these demons. From the very beginning of the counterattack, Zichen's formidable fighting strength was evident. Even though he was suppressed at the beginning and consumed too much energy, he was still able to slaughter those demons. Only those who used small swords could pose a threat to Zichen in an instant. However, such a weapon could only pose a threat to Zichen twice. In other words, they could only block 2 attacks from Zichen. After those 2 attacks, they would definitely die. How could this be? Seeing Zichen killing in all directions, but there was no movement from his side for a long time, Mo Di's expression was no longer calm. In his estimation, with the 4 demon soldiers working together to deal with the painting controlled by Zichen, and with the interference of others, this painting that Zichen could not control should have changed hands long ago. However, Zichen had already given up control of the painting. Why were they still unable to gain control of the painting? A thought appeared in Mo Di's mind. But he couldn't believe that it was true. Because Zichen was only from the Spirit Clan, how could he be recognized by the painting? Or rather, how could he refine the painting? Right now, Zichen was unstoppable. If he couldn't quickly control the painting, then his people would all die this time. Activate the killing array, Mo Di shouted. He could only prepare in advance. Under the 4 demon soldiers, ripples appeared in the sky, and a killing array that had been set up long ago appeared. The killing array of the demon clan was very terrifying. Back then, Zichen had seen with his own eyes that old Blindy could use a killing array to kill a city of demon snake guards. At the same time, this killing array was also a backup plan that Mo Di had prepared. When the killing array appeared, Zichen raised his head to look at the sky. There was a light in his eyes. It was the demon god's eye. He could clearly see the core of the killing array. Not only did he see the core of the killing array, but he also saw the 2 9-star demons hidden there. Zichen shook the spear in his hand and said, "Go." The spear left his hand and soared into the sky like a sword light. This was a sword technique, the kind of technique that Zichen had brought back from the demon realm. After many years of research, he could barely use it. Back then, that lord had said that this technique was not inferior to the lightning controlling technique. It was just that in this environment, the power of the lightning controlling technique would be reduced. It was not as powerful as the sword technique. The spear was like a sword, instantly piercing through the array and then piercing into the bodies of the 2 hidden 9-star demons. It was completely pierced through. Killed in one strike. The array in the sky rippled and then collapsed. The array was broken, but Mo Di still did not control the painting. This caused his expression to become unsightly. Zichen glanced at Mo Di and said, "Actually, you shouldn't underestimate me. Of course, it doesn't matter if you underestimate me, but you shouldn't underestimate the demon god's painting. You have to know that this is something that the demon god personally gave to me. Do you think that the demon god's things can be controlled by these 4 weapons?" In the distance, Mo Yang Dan's were cried out, "Demon God, you've seen Lord Demon God?" "Of course. That's impossible. Why didn't Lord Demon God kill you? Why did he give you the painting?" Mo Yang Dan's were clearly did not believe it. "You talk too much nonsense. Go to hell." The spear flew back. With a thought, Zichen formed a seal with one hand. In the next moment, the spear continued to turn into a sword and flew towards Mo Yang Dan's were. Seeing that Zichen was actually attacking him, Mo Yang Dan's was expression changed drastically, and he immediately raised his defense. At the same time, he also used his life-saving method. As the spear approached, his defense instantly shattered. Even his life-saving method was in danger. Clearly, this was a critical moment. Thus, he did not hesitate to take out the brocade pouch that Mo Yizhan had given him. As the brocade pouch opened, a ray of light enveloped his body. In the next moment, his figure disappeared. The spear missed and then turned in front of him, heading towards Mo Yizhan. During this time, Mo Yizhan's 2 layers of protection were instantly shattered, and the power of the spear was greatly reduced. Since this was the case, Mo Yizhan did not dare to be careless. His figure flashed and disappeared into thin air, leaving behind only a sentence. "Lord Mo Di, I'll take my leave first." Having lost its target, the spear turned into a stream of light and returned to Zichen's side. At this moment, Zichen was still fighting, and the 9-star saint spirits had not all died. When the spear came close, Zichen held the spear in his hand and looked at Mo Di, saying, "Now, I'll give you a chance to escape." Mo Di's reply was a cold snort. "Not running. That's even more to my liking." Zichen waved his sleeve, and the painting that was still in a stalemate suddenly bloomed with a dazzling light. A powerful devouring force appeared and directly swallowed the 4 demon weapons. Then, the painting completely unfolded and enveloped the entire world. Or rather, it was a seal. Zichen continued, "Do you know why I dared to come here even though I knew this was a scheme? It's because I have it on me. As long as I have it, I will never have to worry about my opponent being a demon." Chapter 43:10. What Mo Yi gave Mo Yang Danzue was an escape method. It was a method to escape from this sealed world. After escaping from that world, Mo Yang Danzue's face was filled with lingering fear. Not to mention the matter of the battle achievements, his life was completely saved. As for the battle achievements, he didn't want them anymore. This was because Mo Di had obviously played him. Even if Zichen died, he might not be able to obtain any battle achievements, and might even lose his life. The most obvious thing was that Zichen had tried to kill him, but Mo Di remained indifferent, as if he was deliberately waiting for him to die. "Damn it, I definitely won't let you off." Mo Yang Dan's were cursed. At this moment, another ray of light appeared beside him. It was Mo Yizhan. "You came out too?" Mo Yang Dan's were said in surprise. "If I don't come out, I'll die. This time, I'm the only one who came. At most, I'm just an errand boy." Mo Yizhan looked at Mo Yang Danzue and said, "As for your escape method, it can be considered my last trump card." Mo Yang Danzue knew very well how precious that escape method was. At the very least, he didn't have it, so he immediately said, "Don't worry, after we return this time, there will be plenty of benefits for you." Mo Yizhan laughed bitterly. "Benefits? If Zichen doesn't die this time, I'll be finished. How big of a crime is it to run away from a battle?" Mo Yang Danzue said, "The one in charge this time is Mo Di. What does it have to do with you? Even if it's over, that guy will be the first to die." Thinking back to the scene that had happened in the previous world, Mo Yang Danzue's face had a hint of Schadenfreude. This time, whether it's the family or the demon clan, they have helped him quite a bit. If he really fails, it's fine if he dies, but if he doesn't die, he will definitely have to pay a huge price. Even if no one pursues me, I will definitely not let him off. Don't worry, as long as I'm alive, no one will find trouble with you. Asterisk 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 asterisk. As soon as the ancient devil refining jade appeared, it took root in this world. It was the natural nemesis of the demon clan, so it naturally liked the world of the demon clan. As the ancient devil refining jade took root in the ground, the magic power of this world began to fluctuate and flow away. What is that thing? Mo Di's expression changed. He did not recognize it, because this thing was already extinct in the demon clan. He could not see it at all. Ancient devil refining jade. Zichen explained. Not only did Mo Di's expression change, but the expressions of the other demons who had not died also changed. This was the nemesis of the demon race. Last time, I used it to find and kill that guy with the demonic seal. Zichen pointed at the ancient jade of devil refinement. The person he was referring to was none other than Menes. After hearing this, Mo Di, who was still hesitating before, no longer had any misgivings. He immediately took out an item and was about to escape. As for these people, they were obviously abandoned by him. It was not the first time he had abandoned his companions. However, Mo Di soon discovered that the life-saving measure that he had deliberately left behind had actually lost its effect. One had to know that even Mo Ijan had run away, and the other party had only used a normal escape technique. The one in his hand was connected to the laws of this world. As long as this world existed, then the technique could be activated. Why did it not work now? This world has already been sealed by the painting. Of course you can't escape. Zichen looked at Mo Di and said, moreover, the ancient devil refining jade has already changed the structure of this world, causing the laws of this world to become incomparably chaotic. It's impossible for you to leave. Have you forgotten that I gave you a chance to leave before, but you didn't take it? Asterisk 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 asterisk. At this moment, in the sky above this world, in a place where no one could see, Chung Ho and Han En silently looked at the world below. Under the perception of the naked eye, this world that the demon clan had spent a lot of effort to get to was crazily losing magic power. They had also seen Mo Ijan and Mo Yangdan, who had escaped earlier, and allowed the two of them to escape. It seems that Liu Shanyao's guess was right. Chung Ho looked down and said, the magic power of this world is disappearing. Only the real ancient devil refining jade can do this. Zichen dared to come to this place because of this item. The demon clan had always been invading, but no holy master had truly made a move, causing the demon clan to be completely careless. This time, they had set up a trap for Zichen, so regardless of whether Zichen could escape or not, he would not die. This was because Chung Ho and the others had always been paying attention to Zichen. They could ignore this world and be disappointed in those large powers, but they would definitely not allow Zichen to die. Perhaps, Zichen had also guessed this point, so he dared to barge into any trap. After this battle, the demon clan might be more cautious. Han En did not say anything. Chung Ho continued, this can be considered as buying some time for the spirit realm. Han En still did not let down her guard as she watched the demon clan's world below. When they sensed that something was wrong, they came here in advance and watched as Zichen was lured in and then entered. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The world below began to collapse, and the demon clan's demon power was greatly depleted. Not long after, it completely collapsed. Zichen stood there alone, and the demon clan members from before were all gone. As for the ancient devil refining jade, Zichen had already put it away. With the ancient devil refining jade, Zichen's battle against the demon clan could be said to be half the result with twice the effort. This time, the demon clan's plan was ruined once again. Apart from the two who had escaped earlier, everyone else had died. The demon clan's demon power of the 4 demon weapons in the painting had also been broken down and absorbed by the painting. Ever since he cultivated the purple soul, Zichen found that it was gradually difficult for him to control the painting with his soul power. It was also the same when he used the demon god's eye. It seemed that the purple soul was assimilating his former soul power. Perhaps in the end, Zichen would not be able to use the demon god's eye. As for the demon god's painting, it might become a decoration or a collection. Zichen quickly left. During this time, he glanced at the sky and cupped his fists in that direction. Look, he knew that we were here, Chung Ho said. This brat has never suffered a loss before. Let's go. Han En turned and left. Although the demon clan had focused most of their efforts on the passageway, there were still demon clan members at the demon suppressing gate. They still had to guard it, but they were not as focused as before. All of a sudden, Han Enyu stopped and lowered her head to look down. In the void, a ray of light appeared. Following this, the light turned into a door, and a person walked out from the door. It was Mo Di. He's still alive. Chung Ho was slightly stunned. How could Zi Chen make such a mistake? Should we help him get rid of him? Han Enyu looked at him as if she was looking at an idiot. He knows that we are here, so how could he not see through the other party's little tricks? But why didn't Zi Chen kill him? If he returned, wouldn't Zi Chen's greatest secret be exposed? Chung Ho could not understand. Perhaps it's because of that Liu Zhen who changed her name. When Zi Chen had returned, he had told them in detail what had happened in the demon realm. Naturally, he had also told them about Liu Zhen. Chapter 43:11. When Mo Di walked out of the tunnel, his face was filled with joy. He had successfully deceived Zi Chen, and he was still alive. Ancient devil refining jade. When he thought of that scene, Mo Di still felt a lingering fear. Fortunately, he had obtained important information, so he could report it when he returned. However, when he thought about how everyone else had died, he felt a headache coming on. Those people were the main force. It was not easy for the clan to nurture them. He did not expect them to all die. Worried that Zi Chen would turn back, Mo Di hurriedly left. He did not know that two holy venerables were watching him. When the two holy venerables returned to the demon suppressing gate, they found Zi Chen there. "Why are you here?" Chung Ho looked at Zi Chen and asked, "Did you leave that guy behind on purpose?" Zi Chen nodded as an answer. He then said, "I want to know where the demon race's camp is." "What do you want to do?" Chung Ho looked at Zi Chen. The other holy venerables also looked at Zi Chen curiously. As holy venerables, they were very sensitive to the world. Naturally, they knew where the demon race came from. Zi Chen said, "I plan to place the ancient devil refining jade in the space they invaded." What? Even the holy venerables, who had seen countless things, had a change in expression when they heard Zi Chen's words. If he really placed the ancient devil refining jade in that place, it would be a huge move. No demon race would be able to come over. By the same logic, no demon race would be able to return. It was equivalent to cutting off their path forward. At the same time, they also understood why Zi Chen had come. Clearly, he wanted their help. That place was too dangerous. With the holy venerables accompanying them, they would be more confident. Before the holy venerables could express their opinions, Han Enyu said, "I think this suggestion is not bad. It can be done once and for all." Since Han Enyu had nodded, the others naturally did not have any objections. However, before that, they needed to think it over. Zi Chen sat down cross-legged and began to recover. The previous battle had consumed a lot of his energy, so he urgently needed to recover. As for the method, it was up to them to figure it out, because the purpose of him coming here was to have the saint accompany him, and the saint's purpose was to ensure his safety. Therefore, Zi Chen was not in a hurry. The holy masters could think of a plan, and he also intended to give that guy called Mo Yixian some time to return to the demon clan. She didn't know what method he used to obtain this Mo surname, but it should be. Zi Chen decided not to think about it anymore. He was starting to admire that guy. Asterisk 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 Mo Yixian and Mo Yangs were headed towards the devil clan. This time, they were once again the losers. However, along the way, the two of them chatted and were in a good mood. At the very least, his life was saved. "Don't worry, no matter if Mo Di dies this time or not, I won't let him have an easy time when we get back." Devil Yang Dan's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness. "Daring to scheme against me, that's purely courting death. Mo Di has been arrogant for so many years, when have I ever been afraid of him?" Mo Yangshan's was not just casually saying that. He had the strength. Most importantly, this time, not only did Mo Di want to kill Zi Chen, he also wanted to kill himself. Therefore, this matter was not over yet. After the two of them returned to the camp, they did not stay any longer and directly returned to the demon clan. This time, they had failed, so they needed to give an explanation. Not too long after, Mo Di came over with a murderous aura. After not seeing the two of them here, He also returned to the demon realm. Following that, it was a war of words. They went back and forth, and it lasted for a long time. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The army of the demon clan was still being sent to the spirit realm. To the huge demon clan, these troops could not even be considered as the vanguard. This time, because there were no holy masters, the demon clans that came here were mainly here to train their troops. Therefore, even if they failed, there would still be demon clans coming in. It was the same for the god clan. After an endless stream of god clan troops came in through the passage, they started a war with the spirit realm. Perhaps it was because of the absence of Chen, the situation on the god clan side was much better. However, their progress was also blocked. 3 god clan members passed through the territory of the spirit realm and arrived at the battlefield of the demon clan. They walked towards the demon clan's camp. Along the way, they encountered some demon clan members. However, after the 3 of them released the aura of the god clan, they no longer paid attention to the 3 of them. Gods and demons came to the spirit realm together, so they were naturally allies. My lord, the area of the spirit realm that has been invaded is almost negligible. Is it really appropriate for us to take such a risk and meet the demon clan? One of them asked in confusion. The god clan youth who was walking at the front said, "It is precisely because of this that we have to cooperate with the demon clan and strive to achieve a glorious result before the troops come in." The god realm and the demon realm were not the same. It was not easy to contact each other. This time, they had come to the spirit realm at the same time. They could use this place as a channel to contact each other and reach some kind of consensus. It's all that damned Chen's fault. If it weren't for him, we might have already occupied nearly half of the spirit realm. A Chen had appeared out of nowhere and changed the situation in the spirit realm. The spirit realm, which had originally been fleeing, began to counterattack. As a result, their advance was blocked. This time, the other party came here to discuss a solution with the demon clan. For example, they wanted to join forces. When they arrived at the demon clan's camp, they were immediately received. Then, the leaders of the 2 forces gathered together. However, the god clan members found that the demon clan leader was somewhat absent-minded. It seemed that he did not care much about the alliance. Thus, the other party asked the question in his heart. The demon clan leader did not hide anything. He directly told them that the plan to kill Chen this time had failed again, causing the demon clan to suffer heavy casualties. Obviously, this was because the latest news had not arrived. Otherwise, the demon clan leader would not be in a bad mood. He should be very worried. The appearance of the ancient fiend refining jade was equivalent to the appearance of the demon clan's nemesis. How could they remain calm? Outside the camp, there were demon clan experts standing guard. Suddenly, ripples appeared in front of them. A person appeared in the midst of the ripples. Who is it? One of the demon clan members noticed the abnormality and immediately shouted. It was obvious that it was a person. However, because of the ripples in front of them, the demon clan members could not see the other party's appearance clearly, nor could they sense the other party's aura. The ripples around the person gradually dissipated. His appearance gradually became clearer, and even his aura slowly stabilized. It was the spirit clan. The demon clan member's expression changed drastically. Then, he flew into a rage. The spirit clan had the guts to come here? Chapter 43:12. These words were like a clap of thunder, exploding in the demon's mind. Why was this guy, who had just ruined the assassination plan, here? Chen walked forward, and the ripples behind him disappeared. He was alone. When the demon saw that Chen was alone, he didn't feel lucky, nor did he take the initiative to attack. Instead, he chose to retreat. Chen was too famous. Everyone knew of his terrifying combat strength. The other demons guarding the entrance also saw Chen, and their expressions changed. However, no one made a move. Everyone was retreating as Chen moved forward. After Chen arrived, he spread his soul power in all directions to sense the passage that the demons entered, as well as the number of demons here. An army of hundreds of thousands was here, densely packed. At this moment, the army was heading in this direction. They should have known that he was coming. The gods were discussing inside, but soon a noise came from outside. This made the demon leader's expression turn ugly. However, before he could go out to see the situation, he heard the noise outside. Chen of the Spirit Clan had come. The gods were shocked. Of course, they had heard of Chen's name, but they had never seen him before. The demon leader didn't care about his 3 allies and immediately walked out. Chen dared to come here. Wasn't he courting death? The demon leader walked out. The 3 gods also left the room out of curiosity. Then, they released their soul remembrance and saw Chen. He had come, and he was alone. One of them exclaimed, "This guy, how dare he come here alone?" Another said, "This isn't courage, he's obviously courting death." The god leader didn't say anything. His expression gradually became serious. After coming to this world, he had heard too much about Chen's deeds. When had Chen ever done anything without using his brain? Now that Chen had come here alone, it was obvious that he was courting death. Was he brainless? Obviously not. "Let's just watch here. Don't go forward," said the god leader. The 3 of them didn't try to get closer because Chen's side couldn't accommodate too many people. The entire void was surrounded by the devil race, leaving Chen with only a radius of 1,000 feet. However, Chen was still moving forward, so everyone was retreating. Both sides maintained the same distance. "Chen, how dare you?" A cold voice sounded. The crowd parted like water, and the leader of the demon race walked in. It was a 9-star demon race Holy Spirit. It seemed that everything was as he had guessed. The demon race's passageway was not stable. Even half-step holy venerates could not reach this place. Chen glanced at the demon leader and said, "What, can't I come here to take a look? This is the territory of the spirit race. I can go wherever I want." The leader of the demon race said indifferently, "So you're saying that you're purely seeking death?" Killing intent surged in the surroundings. Everyone looked at Chen with cold eyes. Chen said, "Don't be so nervous. I'm just here to take a look. I'll also take a look at the passageway you came in and see if it's stable or not." Everyone's expressions changed. Chen was clearly here for the passageway. The leader of the demon race glanced to the side. Many of the scouts were shaking their heads, indicating that they hadn't discovered anything. Chen had come alone. "You're alone?" The leader of the demon race looked at Chen. "That's right. I'm just here to take a look." "Why? Am I not welcome?" Chen asked. The leader of the demon race retreated and said coldly, "Chen, I don't care what tricks you're playing today. Since you're here, don't think of leaving alive." With that, the leader of the demon race gave the order to retreat. Suddenly, countless ripples appeared in the sky. Then, a formation appeared. The demon race had set up their base here. Naturally, they had placed many backup plans. "Don't you think it's a little too late to set up a formation now?" A smile appeared on Chen's face as he immediately moved forward. He was only a few 100 feet away from the Devil Clan, and he closed in on them in an instant. He didn't make a move. Instead, he moved with the demon race. Once the killing formation fell, it would inevitably implicate the demon race. The leader of the demon race, who had retreated far away, smiled mockingly. "Do you think you can avoid the formation like this? Aren't you a little too naive?" In the next moment, the bodies of the demon race lit up. The formation took shape. They were unaffected by the formation. Chen, on the other hand, received special treatment. The leader of the demon race saw that Chen was under the formation and didn't use any other means. He was slightly stunned. He couldn't help but have an illusion in his heart. Was this guy really here to die? Just as he decided to use the killing formation, he saw Chen smile. His smile was full of mockery. The leader of the demon race suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. The void suddenly lit up. A ray of light fell from the sky and landed on the formation. The formation began to shake and became unstable. The leader of the demon race didn't have any chance to adjust. The second attack fell and directly destroyed the formation. Without the formation, the light on the demon race's bodies faded. Chen continued to move forward. He was neither fast nor slow. I already said that I'm only here to visit. Why do you have to do this? I'd be a fool to believe you. Formation, rise again. The demon race shouted angrily. The formation in the sky rose again. However, this time, in addition to the formation, there were several demon weapons. These demon weapons were able to fight against a holy venerate. The formation now was of course more terrifying. Obviously, the previous attack was made by a holy venerate. Therefore, the leader of the demon race had to use the power to fight against a holy venerate. However, Zichen's expression was still indifferent. He continued to move forward. The attacks in the sky continued to fall. This time, there were several attacks. Not only did they fall on the formation, but they also fell on the demon weapons. The formation was destroyed. The demon weapons were shattered. This was the power of a holy venerate. The leader of the demon race's expression changed again. This was the first time a holy venerate of the spirit race attacked. He didn't expect it to be so powerful. Of course, if they knew that it was an ancient holy venerate who attacked, they wouldn't be so surprised. Why did Zichen dare to come here? It should be known that the hundreds of thousands of demon race soldiers could tear him apart if they attacked him one by one. He was relying on the ancient holy venerate. Zichen continued to move forward. He wasn't fast. All the demon race's backup plans were destroyed by the holy venerate in the dark. The three divine race people looked at Zichen's unhurried manner. It was as if he was really just here to look at the passageway. Finally, Zichen stopped when he was about 10 miles away from the passageway. During this time, many of the demon race's backup plans were destroyed. He looked at the leader of the demon race and said, "Thank you for accompanying me for so long. In order to express my gratitude, I think I should give you guys something." Zichen didn't keep them in suspense. He also didn't make them wait for a long time. He took out the item that he had prepared long ago. Chapter 43:13. As soon as the ancient jade of devil refinement appeared, it took root in the void. Then, countless rays of light appeared and spread out like tentacles. The nearby demons were entangled by the tentacles. Their strength began to drain as they were devoured. Those demons that were not swept by the tentacles also felt their strength begin to drain rapidly. What's going on? The leader of the demons was shocked and exclaimed. The other demons retreated, but they still could not stop the loss of their strength. Zichen silently watched the demons fall into chaos. In fact, this was only a part of it. There was another part, or more tentacles, that was heading toward the passage in the distance. To stabilize the passage, a large amount of demonic energy was needed, and the ancient jade of devil refinement needed that demonic energy. Some demons noticed this scene and started to attack the tentacles. However, it was useless. Their attacks fell on the tentacles. Not only did they not cause any damage to the tentacles, they instead became nourishment for the tentacles, making them grow stronger. Where did the nemesis come from? That was how it came to be. After devouring so many demons and corpses, the ancient jade of devil refinement was no longer what it used to be. The first batch of demons that were swept in were in danger. What is this? How can it be so terrifying? When the three members of the god race saw this scene from afar, their expressions changed. However, until now, the three of them had yet to feel any discomfort. It's the ancient jade of devil refinement, the legendary ancient jade of devil refinement. Some demons exclaimed as they thought of something that did not exist in the legends. The ancient jade of devil refinement was like the demon god. It was a legend that everyone knew, but no one believed that it really existed until the demon god's relic appeared 2,000 years ago. This time, the ancient jade of devil refinement was clearly presented in front of everyone. As soon as these words came out, it triggered the memories of all the demons. For a moment, they fled even faster. I see. The three members of the God clan suddenly understood why they were not affected by the power of the black flame. The demons were in chaos and might even be wiped out. The premise was that no holy master attacked from a distance. The abnormal change here attracted the attention of the other side of the passage. For a moment, a powerful attack surged toward this side. It was the holy master attacking from a distance. The passageway was no longer stable, and it was unknown what kind of damage it had caused. Fortunately, this powerful attack had successfully passed through. However, at this moment, another holy sovereign's power fell from the sky and blocked this demon's power. When Zichen arrived, he did nothing but take out the ancient devil refining jade. After that, he just stood there and watched as the demons fell into chaos. He watched as the hundreds of thousands of soldiers couldn't do anything to him. He was just here to watch the show. The demon Saint Venerate from another world sent out only one attack, and the passage became even more unstable. The demon energy in the passage was quickly devoured. If this continued, the passageway would definitely close. When the three Protoss saw this, one of them said, "Should we help them? Only they could approach the ancient devil refining jade." However, Zichen was standing under the tree. This was a huge problem. The leader of the divine race looked around. If he helped them now, it would be a great favor to the demon race. What else could they not agree on? Besides, they didn't need to kill Zichen. They just needed to destroy the ancient fiend refining jade. Attack. Time was tight. Without much time to think, the leader of the divine race gave the order. The three of them took out 3 divine weapons at the same time and attacked from afar. During this time, the leader of the divine race carefully looked at the sky, worried that the spirit race's holy sovereign would attack. But no. Even when the attacks were close to the ancient fiend refining jade, the spirit race's holy sovereign didn't attack. Instead, Zichen attacked. A simple spear sent the 3 weapons flying. Go. At this point, the leader of the divine race was relieved. After catching the weapons that flew back, he flew forward. The other 2 followed closely behind him. Zichen stood under the tree and looked at the 3 approaching quickly. He said indifferently, "Why do you want to die?" He let go of the spear in his hand. The spear trembled in the air. Zichen formed a seal with one hand and the spear pierced through the air. It was still a sword technique. The thunder sword. Like a rainbow, it instantly approached one of the divine race members. Seeing this sword, the divine race member's expression changed drastically. He immediately controlled his defense to block it. But it was useless. The extraordinary divine weapon shattered. The spear broke through the defense like a sword and pierced the demon's chest. Puff! It completely pierced through. It turned around and flew back. When the leader of the divine race saw this, a trace of regret flashed in his eyes. He no longer held back and took out a divine lamp. The divine lamp shone, and a murderous aura surged out. The aura of an honorable surged. Obviously, it was an honorable weapon. At this time, Zichen also unfolded the scroll and blocked in front of the honorable weapon. Perhaps there was a change in Zichen's soul power attribute that made him unable to control the scroll skillfully. Or perhaps the honorable weapon opposite him was too powerful. The scroll didn't have the absolute upper hand when the 2 sides collided. Zichen was a little surprised. This was the first time he had seen this. But when he thought about it, the other party was from the divine race and not the demon race. The aura of a demon god might be reduced to a divine race member, so he didn't hesitate. He held the spear and the ancient shield in his hands and charged forward. 1 against 2, powerful auras kept surging in the air. The combat strength of the leader of the divine race was beyond Zichen's imagination. And the number of good things he had on him was also far beyond his expectations. In the short exchange, Zichen had 3 sure kill opportunities, but the other party dodged them all and used various methods to escape. And the divine race member took advantage of the opportunity when he was sent flying to move toward the ancient devil refinement jade. Zichen made a hand sign again, and the spear left his hand and charged toward the other party. After several collisions, the divine race member was successfully killed. However, when the spear returned to Zichen's hand, Zichen saw that there were cracks on the body of the spear. Last time, when Modi set up a trap, Zichen lost 2 powerful weapons. Although the spear and the ancient shield weren't broken, they were damaged. He didn't expect that this battle with the divine race would cause cracks to appear on this extremely extraordinary weapon. It was on the verge of breaking. It would probably take quite a few years for him to fully recover from such an injury. Buzz. The sound of energy vibrating came from the front. After losing all the demonic power in the demon race's passage, it began to heal. The ancient devil refinement jade devoured all the power in the passage. The demon race's passage closed again, and the demons lost the chance to return to their homeland. Similarly, the demons couldn't continue to send reinforcements. Seeing this, the leader of the divine race decided to retreat. Can you leave? Chapter 43:14. All the demons stood in the distance. The camp had long been torn apart. Zichen had also left. The ancient jade of devil refinement was still rooted there, devouring the remaining demonic energy around it. The demons could only watch from afar, not daring to come forward. The three gods of unknown origins had been killed by Zichen, and Zichen had taken the spoils of war. The demons were at a loss and helpless because they couldn't go back. They had no communication with the demons. Like water without roots, they would slowly evaporate and disappear from the spirit realm. Unless they could hold on until the demons invaded a second time and leave through that passage. Zichen returned to his team, and then on the same day, he spread the news of the battle with the demons. The demons' passage had been destroyed, and there would be no more reinforcements. If they didn't seize the time to kill the demons and gain contribution points, once all the demons were killed in the future, they wouldn't be able to gain anything. For a time, the spirits of the spirit realm were motivated again. More people joined in, forming a demon hunting army. The news quickly spread to the God Clan because their leader had suddenly disappeared. According to the information from the God Clan, he had been killed. Thinking back to what happened in the Demon's Passage, they had already guessed the reason. It should be said that it was a coincidence. Their leader, who had gone to discuss matters with the demons, was killed by Zichen. The demons had lost their reinforcements, and with the spirit realm's current fighting spirit, they would soon be nibbled away. Once the demons were gone, what would happen to the gods? At this moment, the divines began to feel worried, especially after learning about the collapse of the demon race's passageway. The ancient jade of devil refinement was still rooted in the void. During this time, no demons dared to approach it. The destruction of the demon's passage caused a great shock in the demons. All the forces were discussing and crusading against it. The target of the crusade was Mo Di. Everyone was too lazy to pursue the matter of his failure to plot against Zichen. What they blamed was that Mo Di did not report the important information about the ancient devil refining jade in the first place. Otherwise, the demon race would not have been so hasty. They were caught off guard by Zichen and indirectly lost over 1 million demon race troops. Now that the passageway could not be opened, the chances of those devils surviving in the spirit realm were extremely low. This was something that Mo Di did not expect. According to his original plan, he would first charge Mo Yi with the crime of escaping from battle, and at the same time, use the ancient devil refining jade as the most important piece of information to minimize his crime. However, Zichen's speed was too fast. Before he could report the matter, the tunnel had been destroyed. His late report had delayed the important matter. Not only did it not help him get off the hook, but it also became a huge crime for everyone. As for Mo Yixian and Mo Yangdanzue, the demon clan no longer pursued the matter, or perhaps they no longer had the time to pursue the matter. Zichen returned to the Sky Martial continent. The battle in the spirit realm was still ongoing, but he, the leader, was no longer leading the team. After returning to the Tianwu world, Zichen still focused on cultivation. It was just that during this period of time, he needed to refine his weapon. In the last battle, whether it was the spear or the ancient shield, the damage was not small. However, if he wanted to completely repair it, it would take an extremely long time. Thus, Zichen went to find the Hall Spirit Su to see if she had any ideas. However, the answer he received was that it would be extremely difficult to repair it, and it would take too long. Only then did Zichen remember that the Saint Zichen from back then, other than leaving behind his strength, he also left behind some weapons. As for the spear and shield that he had taken from the Saint Spirit realm, they had become souvenirs and were left in the Sky Martial continent. As for Zichen himself, He went to look for a weapon that he could use. Arriving at the Zichen Hall, the Hall Spirit Su opened up a space. Looking at the few weapons inside, Zichen was slightly startled, and said, "Why are there so few?" The last time he came here to get the Purple Soul, he saw a lot of weapons. There was even a set of extremely eye-catching battle armor, and its grade was very high. Even if Zichen did not deliberately sense it, he knew that the battle armor should be at the honored rank. But this time, not only was the honored rank battle armor gone, the other weapons were also gone. The Hall Spirit Su did not respond, so Zichen asked again, "What's going on?" "It wasn't like this last time." The Hall Spirit Su's voice finally sounded, lazily, "With my authority, I can only open that place once. Now, it can't be opened anymore." "What, you don't like the weapons here?" How could Zichen not like them? But if there really was an honored rank weapon, then that would be extremely good. After all, he had already seen the power of an honored rank weapon, and he had even used it before. Unfortunately, as his soul power had changed, the power of the picture scroll had gradually decreased. That made Zichen feel very regretful, but if there was something else to make up for it, it would be extremely good. The Hall Spirit Su continued, "With your current realm and strength, these weapons are completely enough for you. You don't have the power of a holy sovereign, so even if you were given a holy sovereign weapon, you wouldn't be able to use its true power. Furthermore, that sword is very suitable for you right now." Zichen looked in a certain direction and saw a long sword. The sword's body was overflowing with lightning, and it was definitely not an ordinary item. The instant he saw that lightning sword, Zichen felt as if his lightning sword art had some sort of reaction. The Hall Spirit Su continued, "This was left behind by an expert from the Lightning Clan. I feel that it has the same aura as the sword art you've been cultivating recently." Zichen walked forward and picked up the lightning sword. A familiar feeling suddenly welled up in his heart. It seemed that many years ago, he had done such a thing and used this sword. He used a little bit of power, and a fierce aura surged on the sword's body. Countless lightning flashed with a violent aura. Zichen nodded. This was not an honored rank weapon, but he was still very satisfied. It was indeed very suitable for him to use with the lightning sword that he had just comprehended. Moreover, Zichen found that it seemed that he didn't need to condense it for the sword to recognize him as its master. "This is it." Zichen put away the long sword and left the Zichen Palace. Next, he had more important things to do. The ancient devil refining jade was a legendary existence in the demon clan, and no one in the spiritual realm knew about it. However, this was all in the past. Now that Zichen had used the ancient devil refining jade to seal the demon clan's retreat, legends about the ancient devil refining jade were everywhere in the spiritual realm. After all, how amazing was it for a tree to be able to stop the demon clan's advance? At the same time, there were some curious voices.